is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Morning, doubling down. Prime Minister Davis again on the attack with Michael Pintard. A viral video appearing to show immigration officers beating and choking a man. And the PLP preparing to launch a campaign on Labor Day. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesa Dean will be joining us. Also this morning, we are talking about your health and MSG concerns, what you need to know if you don't know already about potential dangers. And later in business, it's our monthly segment with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. A lot to talk with them about. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Prime Minister Philip Davis doubling down on his attack on FNM leader Michael Pintard and what Davis characterized as his unpreparedness to lead the Bahamas based on his professional and life experiences. Davis saying in a social media post, quote, "When I spoke last night, I said I gave credit where credit is due. Pintard has done well with his poetry and acting. But what has he done to help others? Where was his leadership when he had the chance?" The Prime Minister went on lengthy spiel about what Pintard has not done, repeatedly belittling Pintard's professional life, real job. As you may recall, at a PLP meeting on Sunday, the Prime Minister questioned, quote, "What has he ever built? What has he ever managed outside of press conferences and political complaints?" Davis described Pintard as a parrot, not a poet, who repeats what powerful people want to hear. Well, Pintard responded in a social media post on Monday saying, quote, "I'm a creative and proud to be one. No, I'm not the lawyers or doctors you've been used to, but I have a heart for the people you can't fake." Well, 4 of the nation's 5 prime ministers have been lawyers by profession, and 1 a doctor. A viral social media video appears to show people dressed as immigration officers choking and beating a man. It was not immediately clear when the video took place or the circumstances surrounding it. However, a senior immigration official telling the NASA Guardian yesterday that he was aware of the incident and that an incident took place and wanted more details on the matter before speaking publicly. He said he was aware of the video but had not reviewed it. The $1.5 million first phase of Mayaguana Airport upgrade is slated to be completed in mid-June. That's according to Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper, who said the government is hopeful it will serve as a catalyst for further investment on the far-flung island. He said the first phase is almost 2,000 square feet. The project is a private-public partnership with Mayaguana Island developers. Cooper said the government became distressed by conditions at the old facility. He says he hopes the airport will bring more economic opportunities to Mayaguana and said a second phase expansion is in the near future. Officials from the Ministry of Labor and Public Service meeting with union leaders and other stakeholders to hear feedback on a suite of labor reforms the government intends to introduce this year. The reforms include modernizing every major labor-related law, including the Employment Act, the Industrial Relations Act, the Public Service Act, and general orders. The reforms will include expanded maternity leave, paternity, and mental health leave. Minister of Labor and Public Service Pia Glover-Rolls said that by reviewing and discussing the feedback on the proposed changes, they will build the momentum to transform the local labor landscape, saying that the objectives remain clear: to build a modern, responsive, and fair labor framework that promotes workers' rights, promotes productivity, expands opportunity, and promotes decent work for all. A man and a teenager remanded into custody in separate rape cases. A 16-year-old high school student appeared before Senior Magistrate Algernon Allen Jr., accused of raping a 17-year-old girl at a school track meet in New Providence on February 15th. The teen stood before the magistrate with his mother and was not required to enter a plea. He broke down in tears on learning he was remanded to the Simpson Penn School for Boys. The matter adjourned to August 7th. Meanwhile, Wilnick Eugene appeared before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley in connection to an alleged rape that took place on May 6th. The 24-year-old is accused of raping a 29-year-old woman. He was not required to enter a plea and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. The matter adjourned to May 14th for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. And a husband's on trial after his wife alleged that he attacked her and threatened to end her pregnancy after an argument at their Paradise Island home got violent. At his trial before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley, the 40-year-old husband has denied allegations of causing harm. The man's wife was the first witness for the prosecution yesterday. Asked by the prosecutor, Inspector Dion Barr, to recount the events of March 20th at around 7:55 p.m., the woman said she was packing for a work trip to West Palm Beach for a boat show. The witness said her husband asked her where she got money to travel and whom she was traveling with. She said she told him that she had money saved and she was traveling with work colleagues. The witness said that they began arguing about the issue, and as she was trying to leave the room, he wouldn't let her leave. And he said that he was going to end the baby and pushed her down. The woman alleged that during the ensuing struggle, her husband blocked her path as she tried to leave and repeatedly pushed her into the wall. She said she fenced her bedroom. You can read more on the case in today's Nassau Guardian. Overseas, Israeli strikes pounding Gaza overnight and into today, the morning, hitting a family home and a school-turned-shelter and killing at least 60 people. As Israel pressing its war against Hamas despite mounting international condemnation. Israel launching another major offensive in the territory in recent days, saying it aims to return dozens of hostages held by Hamas and destroy the militant group. More than 300 people have been killed in Gaza since the start of the latest onslaught. Israel says it seeks to seize Gaza and hold on to the territory, displace hundreds of thousands of people, and secure aid distribution. As the new offensive ramps up, Israel agreed to allow a limited amount of aid into the war-ravaged territory of roughly 2 million people after a 2.5-month blockade that prevented the entry of food, medicine, and fuel, the blockade prompting warnings from food experts of a risk of famine. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he made the decision to let in minimal aid after pressure from allies who said he couldn't support Israel so long as images, whom he said couldn't support Israel as long as images of hunger were coming out of Gaza. And the United States has sent 68 immigrants from Honduras and Colombia back to their countries on the first government-funded flight of what the Trump administration is calling voluntary deportations. In the northern Honduran city of San Pedro Sula, 38 Hondurans, including 19 children, disembarked from the charter flight carrying $1,000 in debit cards from the U.S. government and the offer to one day be allowed to apply for legal entry into the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump has promised to increase deportation substantially, as experts believe the self-deportation offer will only appeal to a small portion of migrants already considering returning, but unlikely to spur high demand. The offer has been paired with highly publicized migrant detentions in the U.S. and flying a couple hundred Venezuelan migrants to a maximum security prison in El Salvador. In sports, Bahamas is off to a critical qualifier looking to secure its spot in the 2025 Pony Baseball Colt 16 Under World Series. An 18-member team leaves the Bahamas this morning for competition in that regional baseball qualifier. The Pony Baseball Colt 16 Under Caribbean and Latin America Baseball Zone Championships set for May 21st through 26th between two baseball parks in Ecuador. There are 10 teams in the tournament, and the Bahamas has to win in order to qualify for the Pony Baseball World Series. With the support of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture and other partners, an aggressive summer lineup of racket activities and tennis and pickleball events geared towards the development and promotion of both sports in the country. With pickleball, it promises to be one of the more inclusive sporting activities in the country, catering to both genders and a number of age groups, already considered one of the fastest-growing sports in the Bahamas and around the world. Read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. And the senior portion of the 2025 GSSA Soccer Championships coming to a close with the C.R. Walker Knights Senior Girls and Anatole Rogers Timberwolves Senior Boys winning titles of the Roscoe A.L. Davies soccer fields. Both teams will have a short window to celebrate their feats at the 2025 Samuel P. Haven Junior National High School Soccer Championships kicking off Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. The Timberwolves are one of the front runners on the senior boys side. You can read all about that in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NFL, the fate of the Tush Push will be up for discussion again, along with the NFL's history of giving division champions with mediocre records home field in the playoffs. There'll be a new topic as well as NFL owners gather today and Wednesday at the headquarters of the Minnesota Vikings after the league issued a proposal that would allow its players to participate in flag football when the sport makes its Olympic debut in Los Angeles in 2028. Philadelphia's famous play has been a topic of conversation for years, reaching a new level when owners agreed to consider a proposal from Green Bay to ban a short yardage scheme that has helped the Eagles win one Super Bowl this past season and reach another. Owners were set to vote last month, but instead tabled the topic for more discussion of a play where Jalen Hurts takes a snap on a quarterback sneak while 2 or 3 players line up behind him to try to push him past the first down line or into the end zone. And the NFL has been making a big push into flag football in hopes of increasing youth participation and opportunities for women in the sport. The league played a major role in making sure that the LA Olympics would be the first with flag football, with events for both men and women. Several star players, including Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes and Miami receiver Tyreek Hill, have expressed interest in the past in participating in the Olympics. Minnesota running back Aaron Jones lit up when asked last month about the possibility. The proposal would allow only one player per NFL team to be selected by a country for the Olympics, in addition to each team's designated international player. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. And your weather for today, brought to you by Joker's Wild Comedy Club. High pressure ridge continues to support a dry and stable air mass along with light to moderate winds across the country. The high pressure is going to be the dominant weather feature for at least the next few days before drifting eastwards. Then a cold front is going to sag near the northern Bahamas late Thursday, and that's going to introduce some much-needed shower activity across the northern and northwest Bahamas beginning for the weekend. So before that, though, feel like temperatures may reach into the low 90s this week. The public's reminded, or maybe even the mid to upper 90s, the public's reminded to take frequent breaks in the shade, drink plenty of comfortable clothing. And due to the high UV indices, everyone's being encouraged to wear protective clothing, sunglasses, and sunscreen, as it's going to be some uncomfortable days ahead. So for today, we're looking at mostly sunny and conditions during the day, fair at night for most areas. A less than 10% chance of showers today. Wind southerly at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, southeast at 10 to 15 knots for the Central Islands, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots for the southeast Bahamas. High temperatures around 90 Fahrenheit, but it will feel hotter than that. That's 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Joker's Wild Comedy Club, the longest-running entertainment venue ever in the Bahamas, unfortunately closing its doors after 35 years of bringing laughter to the country. To celebrate the very funny and talented Tommy Davidson will be the closing act from May 20th through 25th. Tickets are $50. Group rates are available for groups of 10 or more. For tickets, go to atlantisbahamas.com. Grab your friends and come out and have a great evening of laughs for the very last time at Joker's Wild Comedy Club, May 20th through 25th.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing today's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Hey! What's up? Alive Fiber NBA fans! Mark your calendars. Saturday, May 24th at Flamingo Gardens Park. Join us for an adrenaline-pumping three-point shootout and dunk contest. Enjoy your favorite food vendors, drinks, awesome prizes, and fun for everyone. Plus, we'll be announcing the winners of our NBA Sweepstakes live.
Woo! It's showtime!
Don't miss out. See you there. Visit Alive social media pages for more information.
Been off the WSC grid for over a year? Now's the time to come back and save big. For a limited time only, the Water and Sewage Corporation is offering up to 50% off reconnection fees for customers disconnected for more than 1 year. Don't miss this chance to reconnect and enjoy reliable, quality water service at a discounted rate. Call 302-5599 to learn more. Water and Sewage Corporation, dedicated to dependable, affordable water solutions.
Wake up, it's a new day.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas, there, the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clarkson Island Luck, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Southwest Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
Since 1989, Joker's Wild Comedy Club has been the heart of laughter in the Bahamas. But now an era is coming to a close.
Get ready for my guy, comedian Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson, along with featured comedian Naughty. Don't miss your last chance to experience the magic. May 20th to the 25th, Joker's Wild Comedy Club. Admission $50. Get your tickets now at Atlantis Bahamas /events.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
And we are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, DeQuesta Dean. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's get your mic up there. There we go. We good?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
There we go.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Great to see you. Great to have you with us.
It's a beautiful morning.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we have a lot to talk about coming up in our 8 o'clock hour. We're going to be talking about your health and MSG. And concerns. We've been hearing about that for a while, right? But still a lot of MSG in a lot of our foods, a lot of our stuff. Yeah. So we'll find out what some of the issues might be.
Okay.
And then later in business, it's our monthly series with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation. And we're going to be learning about some of the things they have going on, plus talk about the Young Professionals Society.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, so that's ahead. But right now, let's get into what else is in the news. Oh, my God. It's too early. All right, so I just want to say to the taxi driver in the black Honda Odyssey who was driving like a bat out of hell this morning, prayers for you.
You didn't even get the plate?
Oh, I have pictures.
Oh,
I have pictures.
wow.
But I mean, they did everything you aren't supposed to do. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Maybe they have to take a customer to the hospital, but you need help.
Wow.
And I suggest
But was there traffic?
officials. There's no reason for what he was doing.
Right. Like,
I suggest officials get out, if they work, the CCTV cameras to see what I'm talking about, because that was
Wow.
extremely uncalled for. They did everything.
endangering the lives of others.
Heading into oncoming traffic, over.
What?
It's just madness. But anyway, that's just Black Honda Odyssey, taxi. So first thing, text messages coming in already. Somebody texting about Israel. Not gonna. Then this one on Friday, you said you didn't want to hear about anybody talking about flat Earth. Yeah, but the Bible tells you the Earth does not move and has a firmament. No, okay, texter, you're starting off on all the wrong feet. Ironic, the Bible says homosexuality is an abomination, but that is being pushed. Who is pushing it? You've never felt the earth spin nor seen any curve. How do you know? Instead, you've only been shown pictures and believe what they tell you, not what you experience. Name me one area in life where we've to take into account the curve and spin, sir. You can't name any.
Okay. On the first thing Tuesday morning? Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Oh,
They've
he
been
said
sitting
something on Friday.
They're sitting on that for days.
Oh,
and they have to get off the
wow.
chest now.
Wow.
So you see, these are the people we share the flat Earth with, and this is very, very terrifying. Okay, so in the news today, doubling down. I mean, Sunday was a lot, but there was more in a social media post yesterday. The Prime Minister really going on an attack of Michael Pintard,
Oh, wow.
the actor, poet, and parrot, who is not worthy of office, I guess.
What?
So in a tweet yesterday, in response to what we talked about yesterday, with what he said on Monday, the Prime Minister wrote, quote, "When I spoke last night, I said give credit where credit is due. Pintard has done well with his poetry and acting. But what has he done to help others? Oh my God. Where was his leadership when he had the chance? It was our administration that gave the Dundas its first ever government subvention. And we've committed to fund it annually. As Minister of Culture, he barely met with them, let alone provided any support. We are also establishing CAPAS, the Creative and Performing Arts School of the Bahamas, something we're extremely proud to deliver. When Pintard was in government, they promised such a school but didn't even begin to plan for one. Even worse, Pintard the Creative, and that's his... That's what he's calling him now. Pintard the Creative and his government closed the National Dance School. And looking ahead, my office is working closely with the U.S. Embassy to ensure Bahamian creators are fairly compensated for their work on platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. That's big. That's very big. Leadership requires more than performance. Wow. We're not just acknowledging the arts, we're building a future for them. So I ask again, Mr. Pintard, show us your track record. What have you ever actually done? Wow.
He did not come to play.
Wow. Oh my. Okay. All right. So what do you think's happening here? So Pintard did issue a statement. I'm not sure if it was after that attack or if it was the one from Sunday, but Pintard responded in a short social media post on Monday. He said, quote, "I'm a creative and proud to be one. No, I'm not the lawyers or Sue, but I have a heart for the people you can't fake." Well, so our Candia Dane's writing about this in today's NASA Guardian, highlighting everything from what happened on Sunday to all the things that were said yesterday. So it seems on Sunday, Davis urged the PLPs to get battle ready as the election season nears. The Prime Minister can call an election at any time, as you know, but one is not constitutionally due until 2026. So Pintard's professional achievements, or what Davis characterizes as a lack of meaningful achievements, are likely to feature prominently in the PLP's campaign, it seems, as the governing party sizes him up as lacking the experience that would make him a strong prime minister. Davis is seeking to become the first party leader to win a consecutive general election since Ingram led the F&M to victory in 1997. So the article says that the Prime Minister's attack on Pintard's professional capabilities is being viewed in some circles as delving into the arena of dirty politics, a tactic Davis only recently decried. Last month he said, quote, "The challenge with our politics is it has become so feral that it drives away not just good women but good men as well. So a good amount shy away from the dirt and the mudslinging that they hear, and it has always been my wish to see how we could clean this up." Yeah. Well, maybe next year. Seem like you're trying to do it this year. Wow. All right, let's get your reaction to it. People are saying that on social media, the creatives are not happy with the language. I mean, so many people could be considered as creatives. But as I said yesterday, you could really, really hit at it. Even the rocket scientist, right? You've been too busy playing in space to be focusing on the people on the ground. You could say anything. So what sense does this make? We've had a lot of people who've not had any type of experience who've gone on to do very well. The U.S. adores their most famous actor turned president, Ronald Reagan, right? What is the objective here? What are you trying to achieve?
Maybe it's the start of campaigning season, or maybe the start of, things are gonna hype up now, getting into election fever season, and we're going to see this sort of activity more and more, as instead of using their results and saying these are the things that we've done as a way to say re-elect us, we're going to now discredit the people who are also seeking election, which I feel is dirty,
Well, you see how it changed with the Post yesterday compared to Sunday. Yesterday, it hit at his record as a cabinet minister, which you could, well, there you go. That's something you could really look at and not necessarily be dirty. But if you want to talk about professions, I mean, and things people have done in the past, you're looking... It's going to get dangerous. There are quite a few former beauty queens in the cabinet and in the current administration. Do you want people to start saying stupidness like that? I mean, that's not helpful at all.
Agree. But I mean, even his profession and him as a lawyer, the things that may have occurred, right? So even putting himself in a position to have mud slung back at him based on his profession and maybe people that he have represented and things that he's done as well should be a consideration, because it's not a clean slate.
It's going to kick these doors wide open. And I don't know if people can handle
we don't
all
need
that might come out.
Yeah, we definitely don't need
Or maybe we do. Maybe that is what's needed. Throw it all out there. Let's see who will be the clean one standing. It's not going to be too many clean people standing. But hey, let's hear from you folks. What do you make of all of this? Give us a call. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. And what are the creatives going to do? They're going to now, I don't appreciate you talking about one of ours like this. We're going to...
Well, of course, we have to expect. I mean, I don't know, it'll go as far as to say I'm not going to vote for you, but obviously they are going to speak about their displeasure at, their profession being degraded in that sort of way, as if it's meaningless or menial, So, really interesting to see what's going to happen here.
Let's hear from the callers. Good morning. You're on the air.
Mr. Strachan, how are you doing, sir?
Hi, good morning.
Chris, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Mr. Strachan, keeping it decent. Mr. Strachan, I mean, not you, right, but it's amazing to see how certain people is trying to spin this narrative. First of all, Michael Pintard attack Brave Day, that our father now. And number two, Mr. Strachan.
What did he say? Because we heard another caller saying this, but no one seems to know. What did he say?
You remember, Michael Pintard is very good at several words. No, Mr. Strachan, listen to me. The other day, when Michael Pintard called Joby Kobe, there was Lil Kim. You remember that? Nobody said nothing when the man assaulted grandson and Martin. Nobody said nothing. But now, Pintat track record. Michael Pintat was the minister who canceled the World Relays now, who canceled Popeye's Bowl, and don't respect Michael Pintat. Michael Pintat is run as a man worked in hotel industry for 20 years, paid national insurance. Michael Pintat never had a real job, Mrs. Ron. I mean, never had a real job. Don't respect.
All right, thanks a lot. Well, it's not one person doesn't make those decisions. It's a cabinet.
What is a real job?
I don't know what that means. Let's take another call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Morning, crew. I hope you all are doing well.
Hi, doing well. Yes.
Very, very interesting commentary just now. I want everyone to understand that everyone cannot do the same thing and expect to build a country. Every person, whether you feel it's a real job or not, they are serving a purpose and a function. That job is a job to these creatives, and to be displayed and denounced in the manner that it was, a true leader keeps things above the belt, always holds respect for their people, regardless of what their roles are in society, and just keep it above the belt. That's a true leader. Mm-hmm. Whoever is writing these scripts, and I'm now going to give a little bit of credit to our Prime Minister. Whoever your script writers are who writing these things, you need to fire them, because I'm telling you, you're putting more flames into people who are rational thinkers out here, who actually seen the plays, what's going down. We are not naive or fooled. We know what's going on.
Okay, so listen, I don't know what's happening. Everybody, I notice this is a thing now. Everyone's saying the script writer. No, and nobody's making the Prime Minister say things he doesn't want to say.
I understand that, but he may be going by a script. What I'm trying to say here, Dwight, is whenever you say directly that the Prime Minister wrote these things and he's saying them, it comes a major attack. So I'm taking the spotlight off him, and I'm saying the script writer. Okay?
Nah, I don't think that's helpful at all.
It's a shared responsibility.
Yeah.
Even if it is a script writer, it's a shared responsibility, because once you read it, you should be able to give some feedback to your script writer and say, "No, I don't think that's the right thing to do," or you understand what I'm saying?
I agree with you, DeQuesta. Trust me, I've done many plays and promotions. And been engaged in entertainment as the opposition leader has. In fact, I've hosted and worked many of his plays. But I'm going to tell you, it is not right for a leader to talk about, I don't care if it's someone in opposition. You hold the high road. You do not disrespect the profession that they're in. You speak to the facts as they are, and do not try to diminish the person as an individual. That's what I'm trying to say to you. But this right now is going on. We are clearly in campaign mode. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. This one I'm going to continue to watch and listen this thing as it opens and reveals what the true intention is for our people in this country. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. Thank you. All right. But they're going to still be singing on the rally stage, though. Still be writing songs and still doing all the dances and stuff.
Yeah, because we only get mad. We don't do anything else.
That's great. That's really very special. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you this morning?
Doing well.
You could get the record of the House Assembly. Michael Pintat said in the House Assembly that brave father was brave, not brave. Okay, and he took a personal interest in that because he said Michael Pintat should have never mentioned his dead father. All right. So let's go to the beginning of this. Michael Pintat's supposed to be a leader just like the Prime Minister. Why would you say such thing in the House of Assembly? That should be on the record, okay? If it's not on the record, Michael Pintat is wrong for doing so. Now that the Prime Minister has answered him, a lot of persons have a problem with that.
So what's the insult to the father? He said that his father was brave, not that the Prime Minister is brave?
It's saying actually the Prime Minister is not brave.
Okay, so where's the insult to his father?
You're belittling me. That's exactly what
that's no insult to his father.
Pardon me?
That's not an insult to his father.
That's not an insult to his father. That's an insult to Mr. Davis because Mr. Davis' father is dead. Okay? All right? And that shouldn't have been said in the House of Assembly. All right? Michael Pintat knows better. Okay? Being a leader, you have to be very careful what you do and say in the public. Okay? Now you expect for the Prime Minister not to come back and answer. Would you allow someone to say anything negative about your father with you present.
How is that negative about the father, though?
No, it goes deeper than that. I just don't want to get into the full details. That's why I told you to get the record from the House of Assembly, and you will know exactly what Michael Pentard said.
So what you're suggesting is that it's okay for one leader to do something negative, and because that leader did that, the next leader should be given the okay to respond in kind? When does the leader separate himself?
Madam, let's be realistic. Has anything the Prime Minister said about Michael Pentard not the facts?
I don't know.
Could you prove that anything he said pertaining to his job is not the facts? Could you prove that differently than what the Prime Minister said? Michael Pentard is my family member. And see, I'm not saying this because Michael is an F&M or whatever. No, I'm saying it because it is the facts. Okay?
Yeah, but the Prime Minister, let's just
family,
be...
some decent family around here.
Let's just be clear. The Prime Minister is the leading leader of the country, someone that everyone looks to in that position, not even as the person, but in the position of Prime Minister. Like, he should have cronies to do this sort of thing. Let me just say that. It should not be his goal, and his reputation should be one that is of upstanding. And people, not my Prime Minister, he didn't say that. Not my Prime Minister, he didn't do that. Like, his actions should always line up in a way that the citizenry would be, okay, that is what a leader should do. Right. That is how a leader should represent. Well, this is the person that's representing our country. Yeah, I know another leader going crazy in another part of the world right now, and look how everyone is responding to that. So because one person said one thing doesn't mean that we have to come out, in all of this nastiness, right? And we don't have to degrade people's professions, because the people who clean for us are vital. The people who pick up our garbage are vital. The people who are doctors are vital. So, like, your job shouldn't come under attack.
It was even worse. Just his everything was under attack.
Yeah.
I mean, who's paying for all the stuff he has? Because since he doesn't have a real job, what is that?
No, Mr. Prime Minister, that was not cool.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
But okay. Boy. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning to your co-host.
Good morning.
Deandra?
DeQuesta.
Good morning, lady. Dwight, I'm listening to all of the trials, because they are trying to make it like it's okay, no matter who said it. First of all, Mr. Prime Minister Davis is the Prime Minister. He's the head of state for this country. A head of state should not be seen playing childish games. We are not in preschool. Tit for tat. That's the first thing. The second thing, if whatever they're saying that Michael Pentard said, apparently nobody can say it. I don't know what it is. And if he said it in the House of Assembly, it can't be that off the wall. If he insults Mr. Davis' personality, how are we to know? Have we seen anything brave about him? Did he do anything brave? And Mr. Davis has
better watch it. They're going to come for you. They're going to come for you. You better watch it.
Tell them come find me first.
Wow.
Mr. Davis has insulted an entire industry. Michael Pentard might have laid an insult against Mr. Davis' personality, but Mr. Davis came back after an entire industry in this country that is working to get up, to get themselves up and noticed, because nobody out there, besides a few, that is noticing that he's the leading of state. Where is that fair? Where is that fair game? Go after Mr. Pentard personally then, if he come after you personally. And that shouldn't even be done. You are, sir, the head of state. I don't care how you try to clean that up. You cannot clean that up. Persons who are out there trying. It does not fit. It does not fit. The circle cannot fit in a square hole. It ain't gonna fit.
Okay. All right.
Thank
you very much. Head of government. Let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning, caller. Hi. Good morning. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Morning, Dwight. How you doing?
Doing well.
Auntie DeCressa.
Good morning.
Dwight, it's so funny that the Prime Minister is knocking Michael Pintar's profession. I wonder if he forgot he has a hot dog lady in the House of Assembly, or do we need to remind him of that?
Oh, gee.
Okay, so he needs to think when he's insulting people because he's already listening.
I didn't expect
See, anyway.
I did not expect that.
But yes, as we said, there are all kinds of things that people
Right.
have done or do, and that's interesting.
Deep.
All right, you there? You gone?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this petty politics and people trying to cover for the nonsense that's going on in this back and forth. It's not going to work this time. Okay, and they need to do better. We have adults out here who paying close attention to this election. We have young voters who paying very close to this election, and if they don't clean this up and try and act civil and stop this nonsense, they may have a very rude awakening coming. And that's all I want to say.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Wow.
Oh, yeah, that one
was a
got
lot.
my breath. Like, oh, gee.
All right, we've got a lot of text messages, but we still have a lot of calls. Let's get these calls in. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight and DeCressa. Yeah, I'm very disappointed in the Prime Minister's comments. I don't think he should have made it. Like you say, it should not come from him. Also, you have to understand that the influencers are such a big market right now. Why would you want to attack those people who find an alternative way to make money?
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Right.
It's disgraceful and disrespectful.
You're a little muffled for us. You can
It
barely
is
make out what
very
you're saying.
disgraceful and disrespectful. The Prime Minister's past retirement age need to go home.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
gee. Oh, Lord.
Well,
Lord, look at the can of worms
These are
open
things
up
that
this
could
morning.
get very
Okay,
bad.
then. Thank you very much.
Thanks a
Enjoy
lot.
your day.
Well, there's quite a few who are very near to that. Well, this is. I was talking to somebody yesterday who said this is politics. That's how it is. If you don't like this, get out of it. Right? It can get worse, and that's
Which
the
is
nature
true.
of the beast.
That's the truth. I mean, it's true. Like around election time, it's really nasty. It's like no cute word for it. It's just degrading and nasty. And honestly, it's a turnoff because I feel that there are better ways that you can advocate for you being elected than destroying somebody else. And it's the reason why a lot of Bahamians don't put themselves forward for election, like people that could truly make a difference.
Well, that's what Prime Minister Davis said just a few days ago.
Yeah, they won't put themselves forward because of the same type of activity, and it's not just on the leadership level. It's, just everyone will start to, oh, you did this or you did that or you that or you that or you this or you that. Like, it's insane, and I think it's why our leadership sucks.
Yeah. Wow. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning. Miss
Morning.
Jane, how you doing? Poppy, how you all doing?
Hey, Poppy, morning.
Okay, Mom. Dwight, I like when you read the news in the mornings and stuff like that because I don't get I can't see to read the papers. And sometimes you go, sometimes some of the things you read mightn't come on the news when you all do the news. But I remember one time there was a former senator, no calling no names or nothing. Something was going on with her and her husband. They call her name. Everybody to know she was her husband. I think he come to court and dropped the charges and everything. Turned out to he even gone further to be ambassador after that. But the point is what I'm trying to say, right? I know, like, if you was a daddy or something, you fool with your child, a minor, maybe they mightn't call your name or call the child name because they don't want the child no embarrassment. I trying to figure out what was the reason unless I miss it. Or it in the papers, and you didn't get a chance to read it. You say a 40-year-old man. You talk about the woman, right? So he say he can terminate her pregnancy or eat the baby, right? Throw her on the ground, all that stuff, right? 40-year-old man. I ain't hear no minor in this. I know you still West Island. I don't know if this a class thing or whatever. I know in the ghetto and other places. If it ain't no minor to do with it or nothing like that, we normally know the names. In the papers, what you read, 40-year-old man, no names. No name of the man or the woman.
Our publication decided not to print the name, but there's another one
you
that.
understand my question? Why?
Yes.
Why would
there is another paper did print the names.
Okay,
Mhm.
so you're
But
saying
we
that
just
papers
decided.
they have the rights to decide if they can
Of
put
course.
the name?
Yes.
situation? Because I give
I mean,
the example,
it's not.
I learning. So it seems like when you're a minor, it's wrong to do it. So what would the publication decide not to put their name in? It's a class, or because they overpower their silent, or they politicians? All the questions in people's
Probably
mind.
just because it's between two people who are married, and it's really not. It's not going to affect your life. It's not going to affect my life.
I know it don't fit.
Right.
And we ain't being nosy. It's just that it's sometimes it seems like it's a class thing. It's in the ghetto or here somewhere else. They would call the people named the adults. They row, they fight, or what's a domestic affairs or whatever. Unless I'm missing it.
You might be onto something. I don't know. Hopefully they're hearing you and will decide to uniform the coverage.
Let me see if you heard me. Did you get the other papers with the names?
Poppy is trouble.
Thank you. Yeah, he really is a lot of trouble.
Poppy is trouble.
But that's an interesting point. I mean, he might be. They
seriously.
might have named it if it were in town.
Yeah.
That's in something else. I don't know. I can talk to our editorial folks about that.
Interesting.
But, things make you go,
Poppy is be sitting down thinking,
Too much. Too much. We appreciate him, though. We appreciate him. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Morning.
It's always amazing to listen to the same playbook over and over and over, right? These politicians are very intelligent. They know exactly what they're doing. It's like they throw these things just to distract people and cause people a row and argue with stupidness, right? And these PLP trolls that call, it's like they sicken people because they will defend anything the Prime Minister does as long as he is the leader of their party. And the FNMS trolls to do the same exact thing too. You see what I'm saying? And they'll defend anything stupid no matter what it is. Or because they sing it for their supper or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, PM Davis, they do things just to distract. Because you have this big hotel deal signing and people are asking for the details and what's not. So now you have this distraction where everybody forgets to be asking for the details. Now they argue about who was a poet and who was a this and that. PM Davis, he represented the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst. So did Wayne Monroe. The worst of the worst. So this thing of throwing around what you did before this and all that, it's just smoke and mirrors. And one question you can ask me, Dwight, if you possibly can. How long is the Adrian Gibson case going to last? Because it seems like it's been going for 5 years. And is it going to be where election comes around, the FNM wins, and then the case just disappears? I'll listen and see what you think.
Well, I certainly can answer that question.
Wow.
Everybody's wondering as well. And it might go back to what Papa was saying, right? Had it been a couple people off Lewis Street, that'd have been... I don't know. I didn't mean to pick on people. Sorry. I didn't mean to pick on.
Yeah, don't pick a street. Don't pick a street.
I'm just giving an example. Yeah. That would have been a 2-day affair. Bam, bam, and end of story. Maybe? I don't know. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning, Dequessa.
Morning.
Good morning, my blessed Bahamas. And the sound of my voice, I want all Bahamians to listen to me carefully. PLP's FNM. Bahamas is a rich country. Our people suffering. We get national resources, we ain't getting nothing. The government don't give Bahamas, we ain't people nothing but taxes. And let me tell you something, Dwight. I know all my prime ministers personally. I can speak to them, and I don't talk to them long, 5-10 minutes I go on because I know they have the country they want. Dwight, I don't know if you're old enough to remember when the course of Lyndon Pill and all kind of stupid names. Hey, Dwight? Remember? One-eyed Pill, drunken pastor. This seems security, this and that. See, I take talk. I tell Doc one time, I say, Doc, anybody tell you being a prime minister, you got to take talk. And you all politicians, but you all got to take talk. Thank God we got the smartphones and WhatsApp. But you all got to have watch, so listen, many people ain't scared of police no more. They ain't scared of the politicians no more. And we wait on y'all, See, I talk about Dwight. I ask them, what y'all can tell me? Why should I support you? Why should me and my family support you? What lies are coming with? It's only the same side of people making money in this country. The same 16 black and white greedy family making money from this country. The taxes and the jet ski reserved for payment to the store market. Reserved, that's constitutional law. Bus drivers, come on, Dwight.
Boy.
And you all talk about Trump approval rate now 60%. Trump doing an excellent job. Trillions of dollars coming back in America to build. Why our leaders can't do these kind of things? Stop going with these foreigners. Although we need them. Not my children. Never we can hold that, Dwight. That's a slave job.
Okay.
Thank you for taking my call, my
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Wow. It's a lot. That was a lot just now. Let's get through these calls really quickly. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. No. Kai, caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, hi.
Yes, and good morning, DeQuerso.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight. Man, if Dwight, when it comes to the situation with the statement Michael Pintard made, right? See if it makes any sense. If you was a junior, right, and you got all of the names of your father, right? Let's say you name Stephen Superman Strachan, right? That was your daddy name, right? And now you is Stephen Superman Strachan Jr., right? You ain't really Superman. You ain't really the one that established the Superman name. You just inherited. And that's all that really was all about. So I don't see how that could really come off as an insult. Lest you embarrassed to be, lest you embarrassed of the name of your father. Right? Now, if you embarrass of the name of your father, then it can come off as an insult. Right? But there's so much things, and I agree with the last caller too, when he said that, this just a bunch of smokes and mirrors, because, we have serious matters going on in this country, and for our leaders to take any time and stand up in the House of Assembly, the other tit for tat, other nonsense, right? It shows that they really don't have no plan or no plans for moving this country forward, right? And we really have to do something about that as a people, because it's no more time for playing around in this country as especially when it relates to the status quo, right? Because it ain't growing the nation, and we have to do something about it. So I just encourage my Bahamian people to wake up and see these politicians for who they are, and let's come to understand that this country is far more important than any political party or religious organization.
Right. Okay.
You guys have a nice.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? No. Okay, let's read these messages and then we will go to a break. This person says here, I think Mr. Davis, being 75 years old, is too old for this foolishness. He's a 1950s leader who needs to retire. How about that? Davis is past his prime and needs to go home and mind his grandbabies. Wow. Yikes. This person says, tell that flat earther to jump off the same, please. Oh, my goodness gracious. This is a lot.
Wild.
Tuesday morning. Prime Minister Davis has yet to release details of the proposed hotel sale in Freeport, but yet he's trying to distract people with other nonsense issues. And what happened to fix election dates and freedom of information? Well, he never said he was going to fix election dates. That was not a part of their campaign. And how long is the Adrian Gibson case going to take?
I'm trying to figure that out.
Brave Davis only became a household name in the Bahamas when he represented a certain accused drug dealer. As I'm editing, oh boy, wow, a lot of this about his past. Okay, all right. This person says here, God is a creative, so creatives make the world what it is. That's why He created the stationary Earth with a dome. So tell the PM that, please. Oh, boy.
I'm not laughing.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Davis, as a minister himself, had major failures. Remember the burning of the uninsured BAMSI? Additionally, his past, or maybe his still client, should be considered, should certainly give him pause. He himself couldn't. Okay, lots of things that cannot be verified there. And yet, Prime Minister of the Bahamas. So what does it really mean, right? What does it really mean? That's why I don't know if it makes sense to say some of the things some people say. because the way this system works, almost anybody could end up being the leader of a party and eventually the prime minister. It's quite possible. All the lawyer prime ministers we've had in the country, and we're still no better off. We still have the same issues we've had 10, 20, 30 years ago. Bad roads, family island neglect, hospitals on life support, schools need repairs, rising crime, the list goes on. Perhaps the poet with a creative mind can think outside the box, think further than 5 years in office, and put some solutions to the problems in the country. So where was Pintard? Where was Pintard? Well, where was Davis in the middle of Dorian? I don't think he was in office at the time. But you mean that's what you're saying? He was. But they're saying that's what you're saying. So him being there means nothing. That's what you're saying? I think. I don't know. Where was Davis when the fuel hedge had to be extended? He was prime minister. I think Brave Davis is correct. Michael Jordan is just like Pintard. Never had a real job in his life. Run up and down some court with a ball jumping around for years. What kind of example is Michael Jordan?
Oh, what a career, though. What a career. Oh, boy. I love you all.
This section says that this can't be the same Prime Minister Davis who just days ago talked about the mudslinging in politics and is now giving a master class in the same. Okay. I agree, though. We can't evolve into talking about who's qualified based on profession. Although I think women should never be prime minister, I would never say that if I was elected as prime minister. I would never say that if you were elected as prime minister, Texter would be big problems. A prime minister should maintain decorum and display unity. That's from our friend Misogyny.
Oh, wow. A woman shouldn't be.
You should never.
Never.
Okay. Be prime minister. Never.
Yeah. What should women be? Just text us back.
You don't want him.
No, I want him to.
You don't want him to answer that.
What should women do?
No, what have you done? What have you done?
Yes, I do. I want to understand his mind. Like, what should women do?
You've asked the Kraken to come out now.
Just text us back.
They've got to end the show. End the show. What have you done? Let's go to the break. I'm afraid. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Sometimes a shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. I just want to see you. I just want to see you. Just want to see you. I want to see you be brave. Just want to see you. I just want to see you. Just want to see you. I want to see you be brave. Everybody's been there. Everybody's been stared down by the enemy, falling for the fear and dancing, disappearing, bow down to the mighty. But don't run. Just stop holding your tongue. Maybe there's a way out of the cage where you live. Maybe one of these days you can let the light in. Show me how big your brave is. Say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. And since your history of silence won't do you any good, did you think it would? Let your words be.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend. It's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple. We've got a high-pressure ridge that's going to support a dry and stable air mass along with light to moderate winds throughout the country. That high pressure is going to remain the dominant weather feature until about Thursday or so. A cold front's then going to sag into the northern islands by late Thursday, introducing some much-needed shower activity for the northern and northwest Bahamas for the weekend. Before that, though, we've got to deal with the heat indices and UV indices. They're both going to be very high. Feel like temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 90s, and the public's reminded to take frequent breaks in the shade, drink plenty of water, and wear comfortable clothing. Plus, with the UV index being high, you're going to need to wear protective clothing, sunglasses, and sunscreen as well. So, again, for today, we're looking at mostly sunny and hot conditions, turning fair tonight, less than the 10% chance of showers. Temperatures around 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius for highs, but it's going to feel hotter than that. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. Again, feel like temperatures in the mid-90s, around 95 Fahrenheit. For most areas. In your extended outlook, mostly sunny during the day, turning fair at night again for Wednesday, but by Thursday, some changes. We've got partly cloudy conditions in the northern Bahamas, mostly sunny elsewhere, turning fair at night, but a 20 to 30% chance of isolated showers for the northern Bahamas. By Friday, that extends to the northwest Bahamas as well, a 20 to 40% chance of isolated showers. Mostly cloudy conditions across the northern and northwest islands. Partly sunny for the central and southeast Bahamas. By Saturday, we're back to partly cloudy, but a 10 to 20% chance of isolated showers. Pretty much the same for Sunday. Monday, back to mostly sunny conditions, turning mostly fair at night. That's your Morning Blend Weather Check. Weather Check also brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. If your dull walls are bringing you down, well, Sherwin-Williams has the cure. Don't have your place looking toe up. Get that glow up with the superior quality of Sherwin-Williams Paints. And it's time for a check of your traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, reaching your goals happens here. In real-time traffic, as usual, Mile Butler Highway looking heavy for you from just north of the Fire Trail roundabout. As you approach Harold Pond, you'll see that heavy traffic in front of you, all the way up to the roundabout with Tonic Williams Darling Highway. And then that's going to continue into the New Providence Highway, heading north towards the roundabout with Sports Center Road. And well on to the six-legged roundabout as well. You're going to be having some issues along the John F. Kennedy Drive side, eastbound to the six-legged roundabout this morning. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Hill Road busy for you near Carmichael and Soldier Road if you're heading northbound, and East Street north of the Soldier Road intersection. Heavy traffic between Soldier Road and East-West Highway and Independence Drive in the roundabout there. Then we've got Robinson Road. You're not moving between Old Trail and East-West Highway if you're heading westbound. Some congestion on Marathon Road northbound. And Eastern Road, still a pocket of slow-moving traffic from about High Vista to Johnson Road westbound this morning. Downtown looking a bit busy for you on West Bay Street near Nassau Street eastbound, and in the downtown Bay Street area near the Straw Market. You're going to be seeing that up to about East Street this morning. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here.
Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
The backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way the words do when they settle near your skin. Kept on the inside and no sunlight. Sometimes a shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you wanna say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave with what you wanna say and let the words fall out.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with Duquesa Dean. Coming up in a few minutes, we are going to be talking about MSG and the concerns, health concerns that can arise from the use of this. And more. That's coming up. And later in business, we're talking with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, our monthly segment with them this morning. That's all ahead. But we continue to get your reaction to this hot issue, the mudslinging, yes, I guess, that we're seeing with the Prime Minister saying about Michael Pintard. Callers yesterday and today have been saying this all started because of something that Pintard said in the House. But a caller told us this morning that couldn't possibly be it. That started this. As far as we know, it started because the Prime Minister was asking where was Michael Pintard at the big celebration in Grand Bahama for what's happening with the Grand Lucayan. Yesterday, Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper had some comments about that as well. Take a listen to this.
Well, a lot of detail was revealed at the actual event, and he ought to have been there. Had he been there, he would have gotten significant amount of detail and color as to what the development is all about. Frankly, the people of Grand Bahama are excited about the project. It's going to work wonders for tourism in Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama is already up 11.6% in LF ahead of last year. Carnival Cruise Lines is coming. That's going to bring about 1 million guests this year and many millions next year. Big things are happening for Grand Bahama. And it is regrettable that some who wish to be leaders of our country don't appreciate the progress the way the people seem to be inspired by it. This is an exciting time for the island of Grand Bahama. No doubt the Prime Minister will provide further details in the House over the coming days and weeks. But the reality is, we're making progress. We're supportive of the progress we're seeing in Grand Bahama.
Okay. All right.
What question was he responding to? That is what I would really like
Which
to
one?
know.
Chester Cooper?
Yeah, what was he responding to? Did somebody ask for information about this? Did Pintard ask for information?
Probably asked why. What do you think about him not being there?
Right. So, I mean, like, are they able to attend every single function? Are they? Like, everywhere that there's an official function that is happening, every single person that is supposed to be there, do they make it? Do things happen and sometimes you can't make it? Or is he suggesting that Pintard purposely did not attend?
Yeah. And it remains to be seen whether he got an invitation. But...
and just give the information.
We're hearing different stories.
Right.
Different stories about it. But as people are pointing out, we all listened and we got more information the following day from an international news agency, and then the statement from the
That's
from
crazy.
The government.
Why not you?
We got a snapshot, and it was nice and entertaining, but you got more information the next day with the details that people wanted to know.
And they take every opportunity to just mudsling. Or if he was there, he would have gotten the information. Could you just give the information? Like, why do you have to take these old nasty pot shots? Why can't you just give the information? Yes, he wasn't there. Everybody would have noticed that he wasn't there. Why do you have to? Why? What good does that do to you? What does that show that you're a better person because you're there? Like, I'm confused. What does that do?
Hey, we've got a lot of text messages we want to get through really quickly, running out of time. This person says here, what is amazing is how you guys are making a big deal out of nothing when Pintard does this daily in the House of Assembly. What does he do? During the last sitting, Pintard called the auditors. He said the auditors were lying. He said during his speech on stage that he would address Prime Minister Davis as Philip. How disrespectful can a want-to-be leader go? And one just needs to listen to any speech Pintard gives, and you will see it is loaded with insults. Okay. All right. What has Pintard done? Not sure, but I know what Davis has done. He has misspoken on the budget numbers. He said no BPL increase, and it said no NIB increase. Then they did it. Sent emails to... oh my, it's getting worse. Okay, a whole long list of things here. Need I talk about being in charge when Bamsey and the contractor issue happened and they didn't have insurance when the building burned down? Okay. If I run, they would bring up my late father's... oh my goodness. They would bring up my late father's illegitimate son. I would edit this. When getting to politics, you have to have broad shoulders. If they were in the UK or US, they would cry. Look how they brought down some other people whose names they're mentioning here. Okay, yeah. Mr. Dwight and your co-host, Michael Pintard, had a real job. Me and him was at the Service Academy at Crystal Palace. So tell Brave in the War Room of the PLP to come again.
What is a real job?
I don't know what's happening. Okay, thank you for that. Tell the Prime Minister to focus on giving us a proper bus system for the entire New Providence to alleviate the frustration on the streets. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath.
Please don't.
Don't. I told you before, you won't see that until you have a true local government system. I promise you, you won't. I'm telling you now. Don't expect these things. The Prime Minister has borne the brunt of being labeled a criminal on your show while only representing such. I don't think you heard right. I don't think any set of people have had more epithets and churlish remarks hurled at them more than PLPs. Well,
what is the point?
I don't know. Okay, so they are entitled to dish it out? I don't know what you're saying. No part of it was correct. Anyway, asked the Prime Minister where is the agreement between BPL and Pike. Remember the old adage about dogs not barking at parked cars? The Prime Minister is giving worried. Eek. It's an interesting point. On the subject of professions, we no longer need lawyers to run this country. We've seen what they've done, and we are not impressed. Let's try economists, engineers, professors. You're not saying actors? You're not saying actors, Dexter? There's left actors out there. This person says here, a show on ideal ladies' jobs, since women can't be prime minister, would be...
I love it. I love it.
What we should do. Okay.
I love that.
Our friend has responded. We'll get to him in a bit on what women should be doing, since they should never
be prime minister.
Never be
right,
prime minister.
Never.
Dwight, let me give some context to this discussion. I have known Mr. Michael Pintard since the age of 7. Oh, my goodness. He is 1 year older than I am. We first met in church. What's happening? We first met at church at the aforementioned age and then attended junior high school together. We both later attended HBCUs. He at the prestigious Tuskegee Institute and obtained a degree in agronomy and then agricultural economics at McGill University. I've worked with him at his art gallery, The Pink Gun, Is Leadership Inherent or Acquired? A book that I read and quote from by Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. Leadership is a combination of intelligence, resourcefulness, wisdom, a strong personality, and aspiration to the greatest of things. Most of these qualities are innate and hereditary. I know Michael Pintard represents this. Okay. As for the guy that says he's Michael's family, I know some family that I don't want to be associated with either. Okay, well, when they come on the radio and say,
okay, that's my cousin.
I would suspect,
right.
yeah, those are the ones you don't want anything to do with. Woo! Let's stop making excuses for these politicians. I agree you can't make every official event, but you could send a representative. Let's call a spade a spade. If the shoe was on the other foot, people would have been all over Brave. Okay. I wonder if a real job is like Trump's job. What? I'm so confused. I'm so confused by the text. The government needs to crack down on some of these bus drivers playing very loud music, reggae music. Please ask your host to stop talking garbage. What now? Pintard was given an invitation to attend an event in which Pintard himself was asking questions about for years. Given the event that led up to the sale and the importance of this to Grand Bahama's economy, Pintard and all of his MPs should have been in attendance. The question DPM Cooper was referring to is what Mr. Pintard asked for after the event, is always what he asked about after the event. Pintard said he wrote the government and the investor for updates about the event. DPM Cooper said he should have been in attendance. Okay.
I hope you go to everything that you're invited to. I hope that you have no emergencies or sick family members or not feeling well or whatever. You're assuming that he purposely didn't attend. Did he say that he purposely didn't attend?
I feel like there was something said about why he didn't go. That would be good to know. Yeah. This person says here, this is our friend, Misogyny, who's, when you said, right, he said, women should never be prime minister, but you asked, what should women do? He said, DeQuesta, I'm fine with women being members of parliament. Oh, wow, that's nice. And even cabinet ministers.
What?
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
My goodness. But to give them that level of authority like a prime minister goes against biblical doctrine.
Oh, really?
Okay. He's quoting from 1 Timothy chapter 2. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence.
Just the same man who was asking when people are going to do things for the men and suggesting that we women put on events for the men where we would be in leadership positions and telling them.
No. You just organize it. Take over.
Thank you for giving us, some nice jobs. Just
even
not,
the cabinet.
Even the cabinet.
Rich cabinet post, though. That's what you're going to ask for. Yeah, Minister of Women's Affairs. Probably only that.
He surprised me. I thought he was going to say barefoot and pregnant and at home. So he surprised me. That might be a
cabinet position in his cabinet, too. Okay. We got to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us, folks. We'll be back in just a bit.
Just wanna see you. Just wanna see you. I wanna see you, baby. Just wanna see you. I just wanna see you. Just wanna see you. I wanna see you, baby.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
At Cleveland Clinic, care is everything. So when your primary purpose is to care for the world, you'd start with your community until you're accessible anywhere. You make complexities your specialties and put compassion before anything else, all to redefine what's possible. For everyone, everywhere. For every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
It's time to give away a cruise. Guardian Media Group and Going Places Travel wants to take you on a 7-day cruise for 4 to Panama, Colombia, Curacao, and Aruba on Royal Caribbean Serenade of the Seas. And here's the best part. No visa required. That's right, no visa required. You have 4 ways to enter, 4 ways to win. Number 1, fill out the form in the NASA Guardian. Number 2, listen to Star 106.5 and Guardian Radio 96.9. Number 3, Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Number 4, or make a purchase at any Going Places Travel. Entry deadline is June 27th, 2025. Drawing will be taking place on July 4th, 2025. So you know what that means? Pack your bags and get ready to soak up the sun and feel the ocean breeze. You and 3 loved ones sailing the high seas on a vacation cruise of a lifetime. Brought to you by the Guardian Media Group and Going Places Travel. Certain conditions apply. Airfare, taxes, and gratuities not included.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
I've been up at Penda and I meet him in the showroom. I said, Penda, I just come out of a showroom in Portugal and let me tell you something. Them showroom and selection ain't got nothing on yours. Man, I like this stock of porcelain and ceramic tile you got here. What I really like is the range of sizes that come in. 8x48, 12x24, 24x24. And what I really, really like more than the things I really like is the price. From $275 a square foot to $494 a square foot and all in between. You can't beat that. Not even with a 2x4 from Enterprises.
Here's the sure-winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil shrimp, stew shrimp, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
Music man. Take it and don't be no fool. Check this, you'll never see a dog barking at a parked car. You'll never see him barking if the car ain't moving. You'll never see people talking about you if you're going nowhere. But when you're trying to excel yourself, they got your name everywhere. Because dog don't bark at Parker, no way. Come on. The only time they can start barking is when the car start moving.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. And this morning we are talking about MSG concerns. No, not Madison Square Garden. We're talking even though it's basketball season, we're talking about monosodium glutamate.
Yes, sir.
And Dr. Cyprian Strachan is with us. Good to have you back with us. Welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning to you and your hosts. Good morning, Bahamas. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak on something that I feel is important and significant.
Yeah. A few years back, people were talking about MSG quite a bit, but it seems like it's died down a bit. Let people know exactly what this is and where MSG is common.
All right. So MSG is something that they used to blame the Chinese on for.
A lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
causing nausea and vomiting and stuff after you have a Chinese food meal.
Right.
And we grew up on accent. Accent was in our
seasoning.
house. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a flavor enhancer. Some people say it's a meat tenderizer. There were all kind of different explanations. And accent came out in the early 1900s. So it's been around for about 90 years.
Wow.
And my mother would cook a big meal on a Sunday, and that's where we would get our little dose of MSG. And I don't know, from back then, I think I had ADHD. I couldn't sit still and study for long periods. And but ADHD wasn't a prominent illness back at that time. Yeah, it's just...
You should just say you're rude.
Right. My dad is like, you can't sit still.
Yeah.
And you're talking up when the teacher says, that's too much. But what happened is that the MSG, the fast food places, all of the fast food places use this monosodium glutamate. And not just us, the U.S. government, there are people in the U.S. who started to realize that something funny was going on with their children, with their adults, and they started investigating the canned foods.
Yeah.
So there was a suit against the Campbell's company that made the Chef Boyardee.
Really?
And and the Campbell said, well, we'll get rid of it by the year 2022. And people have been watching them. And then they started to hide the name. So if it's just, a casual food flavor enhancer, why are you changing the name? Why are you putting different things? So you go looking for monosodium glutamate, and it's not in that, and you feel comfortable. But calcium gluconate is another name for it.
Oh, wow.
And anything with gluconate is an issue. And
wow.
Complete seasoning is popular in the Bahamas.
Yes, very much so.
And so it's not just the Chinese that are using it. Every Bahamian is using it.
Seeing that it's in noodles,
Everything.
instant noodles,
It's in a
is going to
lot.
be in that, and Bahamians are consuming that in great quantities.
Yeah, but they're putting it in the tuna salad when you get your tuna and grits. They put it in the steamed tuna.
What do you mean?
Steamed sausage.
The seasoning? The seasoning itself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
And I personally, I didn't know if I had issues with it until I realized I'd eat something and half an hour later my heart rate would speed up and my neck would get stiff. And I say, oh boy, I ain't going to eat from this person no more. I'm not sure what it is.
Right.
And gradually you find out that it's this complete seasoning. So complete seasoning has been around about 60 years. And Sazon came around the same time. And Sazon
These
has...
popular seasonings, though.
Yeah, people using them every day.
Every day.
So Sazon has a little stick on the front that says no MSG.
You see that a lot.
Right.
But what it have?
Disodium inosinate with qualinate.
I can't
It
pronounce
sounds
that.
worse.
Code name for MSG.
Oh, wow.
But they are bypassing the law. I mean, you can't sue them because it says no MSG.
Wow.
It's up to you to figure out that, hey, this disodium thingy is actually the same poison.
Wow.
So the list of illnesses associated with it is tremendous because it back then they used to say, okay, it's just Chinese people, Chinese food, and the biggest research was a stomach issue. You know, a lot of people have gastritis and they're taking Tums or they're taking Nexium or they're taking Pepsid or something. And they say, well, that's the Chinese food syndrome. But now everybody is using it, so you can't blame the Chinese anymore.
So it's likely to be in almost anything processed. All processed foods, almost?
Like your teriyaki sauce, your soy sauce, your sweet and sour sauce.
Salad dressings, some of them.
Salad dressings is in chips. You mentioned the pocket in the noodles.
The noodles.
What you could eat?
Ice. Well, I don't even know. So this is scary.
Right. So after a while, you go to church, and after church, they have food in the church hall. I stop eating from the church people. And when the patients come in, I say, don't eat from the church people. Because Monday morning, people will be in there with headaches and migraines, and their pressures are up, and their sugar numbers are not normal. Or they came from the family islands over the weekend, and they had some fast food. So all the American fast food restaurants. So where we went from, you have it on a Sunday, to now breakfast, you go to Mickey D's, and lunch, you go to Wendy's, dinner is Popeyes. You get in MSG all day.
Wow.
It causes anxiety. It causes the neck and back muscles to stiffen up. It causes migraines. It causes seizures. It interferes with the absorption of magnesium. And hypertension is just magnesium deficiency disorder.
Oh.
So we got people who are on 3 different antihypertensive medications, and that combo still isn't working. They still come in with a 200 over 120, and you want to send them to the hospital, and I'm going to the hospital, they can kill me in the hospital.
Wow. Okay. So why can't we get away from it? Does it really enhance the food that much? Is it that good in terms of taste? Or why is the food industry so reluctant to move away from this?
The marketing campaigns, you get accustomed to using it. People will tell you, well, I will stop using it at home since my pressure is going up. But if I don't use it, then nobody's coming to my breakfast place or my lunch place.
You can really taste the difference if you don't use it?
I don't know if I could taste the difference anymore.
I just feel like complete seasoning makes the food taste like delicious. I mean, I don't use it.
Is that psychological or is it real?
I think it's a different
wondering
flavor.
now if it's real.
I think it's a different
It
flavor.
may, they talk about umami, that extra
right.
flavor. Yeah. So it may do something, it may be something. But then what are you willing to risk for it? Because there are diabetics we can't control because it's interfering with the diabetic medication. A certain amount of schizophrenics can't control because it's affecting the schizophrenic medication, the asthma medication, the seizure medication.
But people may not know, like, this is what's being used. Or they may not know, because people may have complete seasoning in their house, or they may have another seasoning that has it and just doesn't know that it's a ingredient in it. So they don't know that that's what's making them sick.
So that's why I'm on the radio.
Right.
Right. All right. So what do you recommend? Can you use it sparingly, once in a while, go back to Sundays only, or you're saying don't use this stuff at all?
If you already in the doctor's office too often, you know that you didn't have high blood pressure. You develop it in your 30s or 40s. You know that you didn't have diabetes. You didn't have this, that, and the next. And people always say, well, maybe it's the processed food. Maybe it's you have bad habits. Maybe you're just greedy. You're just lazy. That's why you're sick. No. Just because you have the genetics don't mean that you have to get sick.
Right.
So we have the issue with the iodized salt, which we just copied and brought in. There are countries that started the iodized salt. China started in the 70s. But they went through their population because there are people who live in the mountains. And without the iodized salt, then the women's thyroids don't get enough iodine to make a baby properly. And so they were making deformed, slower than normal children in the U.S., in China, in Central Africa, in Europe. And so the iodized salt was a blessing. The Chinese government checked on the people in the mountains, and they did better. But the people by the sea started to get sick. So the iodized salt, the Chinese government said, maybe this isn't for you. You were healthy, now you got pressure, you got sugar, You having miscarriages and cancers are on the rise. And we just adopted it. I remember 25 years ago, it was a project for Kiwanis to encourage Bahamians to use iodized salt. And nobody questioned if we needed it and why we needed it. Mm-hmm. We got sea breeze and seafood. We don't need extra iodine.
This is table salt we're talking about, right?
Yeah, Morton's makes two sets, one with iodine and one without.
Right.
Right. So the iodine.
So we grow up on Morton salt.
But there's two types. We don't. As a child, we probably used iodized salt because my grandmother in Rumkey had a goiter, an enlarged thyroid. And the thinking back then was we didn't get enough seafood or sea breeze. And I asked a cousin, I said, you wasn't eating seafood in Rumkey? And he said, Strachan is cuss a lot. So he cut you fool, of course. So why would my grandmother have an enlarged thyroid? And you all say that's just from iodine deficiency. And so that wasn't the full story. Mm-hmm. And my father made sure that we got lots of seafood so that we wouldn't end up like Grammy. But the problem in the Bahamas is we get too much iodine. So when people start to get sick, they have hit their iodine limit.
Okay.
So you don't get pressure or sugar or cholesterol until you get this excess iodine. And God expected that could happen. And so selenium is the balancer. Mm-hmm. But we don't have enough selenium. And so then you get a magnesium deficiency, and the magnesium deficiency then becomes the source of all sickness. So anyway, back to the Chinese government. The Chinese government does the research and realizes half the population getting healthy, the other half getting sick. So they have to tell the people on the coast, this is not for you, right? There are other governments that ban the importation of iodized salt. You have to apply to the Ministry of Health in order to import iodized salt to Japan.
Wow. So what do they use?
Regular salt.
Okay. Okay. And sea salt?
Sea salt is good. No added iodine. And the government just got a new act. It's called an act. The Minister of Health now has the teeth to make certain decisions like, let's not import iodized salt. Let's not import things like MSG, complete seasoning, which may be difficult to do. And if you can't do that, then start warning your population.
Yeah.
And so listen, if it's in your house and you know your pressure isn't going down, you know your sugar isn't going down, there's a reason why. Right? This information is on the internet. I didn't invent this.
So what alternatives do you recommend to complete seasoning to anything with MSG in it?
So back in the day, you use salt, you use lime, you use some garlic powder, you use some thyme, some pepper, and the food tasted good to me.
Do it yourself. Make your own seasonings. Don't use the complete. Use your own packet instead of what comes with the noodles, right?
So I buy the noodles and I season it, salt and black pepper, and I cut up some onions and throw some thyme in it, and noodles taste good. Yeah.
Yeah. But don't use the packet.
I mean, from time you've been hearing the packet is full of salt. Like it's really, really salty. I don't.
It wasn't the salt that was the problem. It's the MSG. So I go to Bimini regularly. Got to go on Monday. Every 2 weeks, we have a clinic in Bimini. And I can only eat from one local restaurant that has guaranteed that they will not put MSG, complete seasoning, in my food. Freeport has a similar problem. My sister-in-law says the MSG now makes her break out as if she has a severe allergic reaction with all her fingers and stuff swelling. And she had a friend that had to go from Abaco to Nassau because they had seizures that wouldn't stop. And she told this person, listen, you my friend, you got to start cooking for yourself.
Yeah.
And when they started cooking for themselves, they went 3 months back to back without seizures.
Wow.
Because the seizure medicine doesn't work. People on 2 or 3 different seizure medicines, they've had brain scans that show that they don't have a tumor. They're healthy. We can't figure out why all the tests and studies are saying you you don't have a significant thing that we could figure out or treat. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like God be with you. Hope you get it sorted out because it's nothing else we can do.
And yet it's terrifying that you still see MSG by itself on the shelves here.
That's even scarier.
Isn't that crazy?
People are so, there are sauce houses that I avoid. Mm-hmm. There are restaurants where we've spoken to the people who season the food. We say, we ain't going there. And we tell our patients, don't go there, right? Popular names, don't go there. Mm-hmm. And you have to police yourself. You have to police. If enough people ask when they go to a restaurant, did you use MSG? And they say, no, we don't use MSG. Okay, do you use complete seasoning? Yeah, of course.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And so if enough people say, I'm not eating from you, because when I eat from you, I get this migraine, or I get this seizure, or I get something, my pressure goes up, my neck gets stiff, that will help to change the culture.
Yeah.
And
but seriously, how many people sit down and trace their headache or their excess thirst or their breakouts or whatever back to the food that they eat? Yeah. They think it's something deeper or bigger. So that's very interesting to hear that, you know.
And that's what when you come to the office, we ask within, what did you eat in the last half hour? What did you eat yesterday? And trace it back. Oh, I ate from my sister.
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
We're talking with Dr. Cyprian Strachan. Give us a call, folks, at 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. And you can text us 422-4796. Got a few text messages to get to in a bit. Let's take these calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. I think we got.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Strong. Good morning, DeCressa.
Hi.
Good morning to my schoolmate, Cyprian Strong. Cyprian, how is Jonathan?
Jonathan is pretty good, thanks.
Yeah, and your mom?
Mommy is doing good. She'll be...
Yeah, well, that's the greatest English language teacher I know.
She'll be 94 this year.
Oh, wow.
She has a repercussion on me all the while. I don't know if she's related to Dwight, but me and Dwight don't get along. Because they're not able to...
We're all related. Right? We're related.
Cyprian.
Oh, my goodness.
Cyprian, I didn't recognize your voice right away, but I wanted to get this out, and I want you to comment, right? And so, as you was talking about magnesium, you know, we agree on that, right?
Yes.
And so, given the fact that you are one of the students that caused me to take up chemistry, as I looked at you from grade 7 and 8, and in the labs, right? You and the other students that used to be on this academics, right? Neil Ellis, them, right? Now listen to me. These magnesium, sodium, potassium, etc., lithium, beryllium, those are metals, right? They're known as metals in chemistry, right?
Technically, that's a technical
All right,
term.
yes, but what I'm saying is they make salt because they are highly electropositive or negative, correct?
You know that salt is sodium chloride, right?
All right. So listen, Cyprian, what I'm saying is there is more than one form of salt. They are electropositive and negative. They displace one another if they are not balanced, right or correct or incorrect.
Yes, that's
all right.
part of
So what that means then is if you take one or more of the other, it depletes the other. All right? So now you said magnesium. And so remember now, sodium is the most predominant metal or salt that we will be taking into our bodies. So this in itself creates an imbalance as far as intercellular movements of fluid, intra and extracellular movements of fluid. Correct or incorrect?
That is not totally correct. There are sodium pumps in the body.
Yeah, but what I mean is the more sodium you have in the cell, the more fluid the cell retains. And then the body says, well, we need to lose fluid. Let's put out fluid. It's called homeostasis. Then the body says, we need fluid, so we get fluid in from the blood. I read old books. It's intra and extracellular fluid movements that really deals with homeostasis. So in itself, you're correct about high blood pressure, but there are incidents in which other body conditions can cause high blood pressure. It can be physical conditions like blockage, embolism, etc., etc. Now, my problem is, whilst you added, right, Cyprian, I respect you, right, brother? Let them know about transglutaminase and the fact that thimerosal, they use that word to put mercury in products and things that you don't know. So what I'm saying, I was trying to expose these things from Ms. Malcolm, who is the food police on the radio for Guardian for a little while now. But what happens is, I feel as if pundits, right, when you live a life where pundits are not in tune to the new studies and new innovations in science, and they become the sole arbiter of truth, it is still dictatorial in a sense. And common sense is not reigning on the airwaves because people are making statements that are not correct. There was a lady on yesterday. You have to be responsible. She said that viruses cannot be killed. She said that pneumonia only exists as a bacteria. I mean, which is it? And so she said she said that vaccinations and immunizations are the same. I was simply trying to show you that whilst vaccinations may be used to induce immunity, it is not the only form of immunity, and don't dismiss natural immunity, which is immunity. Immunization is a more natural response. Vaccination induces immunity. There is, let's take for instance,
we're running out of time, though, 52. We got to get other calls in, but I hear you. Okay, I don't think the first part of what you said, I don't think that's what she said at all. But okay, let's take another call, I'm afraid. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Are you there? Hi, good morning. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air.
Hey, good morning again, Dwight.
Hi.
And good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
You know, I wanted to ask the question. He's talking about high blood pressure and stuff, but to me is about food. So I grew up eating chicken, right?
Yes.
But today I can't eat chicken. Chicken today treats me like the way Barry does the people.
Wow.
So you think it's the seasoning in it? I don't eat it. I haven't eaten it in almost 20 years.
Okay. I haven't heard of anybody allergic to chicken before.
Yeah, it treats me. It's so much.
The seasoning.
Spoon to touch the chicken and touch my food, my rice. It will do the same thing to me. I end up in the hospital like the way Barry does.
Even when you cook it yourself?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah.
That's different. I've heard of people allergic to beef.
Yay.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's possible that you're allergic to chicken.
So I wanted to know if it was what might have been.
You have the same issue with turkey?
No. I can eat turkey. Turkey does nothing to me.
Interesting. But when the first person I heard was allergic to beef, I was shocked. So it's possible that you could be allergic to chicken.
Thank
you. All right. Thanks for sharing that. Allergic, what used to happen to them?
They break out as if they had seafood allergy.
My goodness. You mentioned this before. Someone's asking on a text line. So can you use the complete seasoning that says it has no MSG? You already said that there's still some tricks in there.
I'm afraid of any combined seasoning. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want it in my house. I don't want
When
it
you
in
say
my
combined seasoning,
these things
already in a packet.
That you purchase already packaged.
Right.
I mean, okay.
Just use your own seasoning.
I mean, you could throw the same ingredients together, I guess.
Right.
Okay.
Wow. Just one more call? Yep. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air. Hi, okay. Hi, good morning. We heard the person. They weren't responding. All right. Yes, let's take this one. Good morning, caller. You are live on the air. Hi. What are you doing? Just playing with our phones. Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. You're live on the air.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can.
You can hear me, Dwight?
We can, yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Dwight, good morning to the doctor.
Good morning.
Morning.
We can barely hear you, though. You got to get closer to the phone.
You can't hear me good?
You need to get closer to the phone.
Sorry, I want to break up on my battery there in my cordless. So I was just trying to say if Dr. Strachan aware that some people using sugar in the food and all. You know, you say the food tastes so good when you get the final. You know, she's put sugar on her rice. So listen,
rice?
There's one. I think she's from Haiti or Haitian, but she's straight. She's straight. She's a citizen and everything. She's cooked food and everything, right? She's do a good job, just as good as the Bahamian. I won't say all better, right? But the thing about it, and I think what Dr. Strachan saying, she must be doing it right. I mean, you could lick your finger if you want to, right? But when you eating and stuff like that, some of us Bahamians, some of us human, we like to lick our finger and taste the lime, taste a little pepper and whatever. A food, like I say, she could class on the side of any Bahamian cook right now, right?
But okay, what's your issue with the sugar?
The seasoning, the salt, it's like not there. So you were saying some governments don't allow certain things to come in. I don't know if it's going to be incentive for the buyers or the people who cooking the food, if the government can play a role. And how do we encourage them to buy these things, which you say is still on the shelf, the GSM and all of them stuff? Allowing them to listen.
Okay.
Well, if the studies are out there and everybody can read the studies, then the government has the tools, the teeth, then to say this is something that's proven to interfere with your medication or your healthy lifestyle. Because there are people out there trying to live a healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. They don't want to be on pressure medicine for the rest of their lives. They don't want to be on diabetic medication for the rest of their lives. And so they are trying, but they aren't aware of all these small details, right? Mm-hmm. So it's to spread the word. If you're not born with diabetes, you're not born with hypertension, you have the genetic potential, but you weren't born with it. Mm-hmm. And now you wake up, you're taking your medication, and all of a sudden your medication isn't working, and you're trying your hardest. The other detail is dairy and nuts. They are popular, but they interfere with the absorption of magnesium and the absorption of zinc. You know, they just spoke about President Biden having a prostate disease. Mm-hmm. But the research has shown that prostate disease is 90-something% just a zinc deficiency.
Man, and I eat a handful of nuts every day.
They block the absorption of magnesium and zinc.
Well, at least you don't have a prostate, so that's good. You'll be okay. All right, so based on what you said about magnesium, somebody's asking, well, I have a shrimp allergy, so am I just low in magnesium? Not necessarily.
No, selenium is the antidote. Mm-hmm. So I had a seafood allergy from the age of 10. Mm. And all I needed was selenium, it appears, because when I give my young patients selenium, they can now tolerate seafood. Mm-hmm. After 6 or 8 months, they don't have to be afraid of walking past seafood and getting blisters.
Is that a universal thing, or is that specific to the person? Could that be the cure, in quotation marks, for everybody with an allergy like that, or does it really depend?
I don't go to church often, but it appears that God put selenium on the planet for that specific purpose, to balance out the iodine that we are consuming. Mm-hmm. And so it didn't work for me. I guess I was allergic for too long, but there are patients who can go back to eating seafood once they take enough selenium.
So should they talk to a doctor before they do that, or?
I don't know if the doctor understands that.
Is it a tablet or is it?
It's a vitamin tablet on every shelf.
Okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
Would you recommend everybody should take?
In the Bahamas, New Zealand did. New Zealand recommended that all their citizens take selenium once a day.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And is that in a normal vitamin, daily vitamin?
Right there. Well, if you get it in a multivitamin, the U.S. also has iodine in their multivitamins. Yeah. And we have too much iodine. We don't need the multivitamins with iodine in it because we're trying to get that selenium.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we've been talking about MSG, and we've mentioned complete seasoning. Someone's asked about seasoned salt. It's the same type of thing, right?
I'm afraid of seasoned salt.
Yeah. Wow. It's going to take a lot to get people to change their mindset on this stuff. Or messaging people saying, well, I'm still putting it in my peas and rice.
Go right ahead. But if you have pressure problems, sugar problems, you end up in the hospital with a stroke or something, that's when patients who have begged for 15 years, when they get heart failure, then all of a sudden they say, whatever you say I must do, doc. I'm willing to do it now. Yeah. So complete seasoning, the little cubes. What the little cubes are?
The bouillon cubes.
The bouillon cubes.
Wow.
Whatever.
Enriching flavors.
Right. Those are
scary stuff.
Yes.
Dr. Cyprian Strong, we're going to have you on more often, but thank you so much for being here. Great
Thanks
information.
for giving me the opportunity.
We'll talk again soon.
I sleep better tonight.
Hopefully a lot of people will listen to you. We're going to be back after this news update with Morning Blend Business and the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
The only time we can start back in when the gas start moving. Oh, I say, don't go back and back. No way.
Maybe
It's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Wake up and treat yourself to the breakfast you deserve with Wendy's new French toast sticks platter. 4 pieces of golden, crispy French toast sticks served with warm syrup, fresh cracked eggs, your choice of protein, and orange juice. It's sweet, savory, and everything your morning's been missing. Whether you dip, dunk, or just go all in, you'll never want to go back to your old breakfast routine. Better breakfast always starts at Wendy's.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again from the island that gives you minced mutton, okra soup, and of course flour cake and rake and scrape. It's the 26th annual Cat Island Rake and Scrape Festival in beautiful Artistown, Cat Island, June 6th through 8th. We have acts such as Veronica Bishop,
He come here with the hands swinging.
Gino D, Stelito, Cupid, and of course our very own down-home guys like Lacido and the Boys, I don't like no regular favorite in here, Ophi and the websites, and much more in beautiful Artistown, Cat Island. June 6th through 8th. See you there.
As a healthcare professional, you dedicate your life to caring for others. But even with the best care, legal challenges can arise. Protect your practice and your peace of mind with medical malpractice insurance from Star General. At Star General, we've partnered with Lloyd's of London to bring you comprehensive professional liability insurance designed specifically for those consulting or practicing privately. Visit our website today so you can focus on what you do best, caring for your patients, while we take care of the rest. Star General, insurance made simple.
Since 1989, Joker's Wild Comedy Club has been the heart of laughter in the Bahamas. But now an era is coming to a close.
Get ready for my guy, comedian Tommy Davidson.
Tommy Davidson, along with featured comedian Kurt Green and house comedian Naughty. Don't miss your last chance to experience the magic. May 20th to the 25th, Joker's Wild Comedy Club. Admission $50. Get your tickets now at Atlantis Bahamas /events.
Rachel, congrats. I heard about your promotion. And you just finished a master's? You're on a path to success. How do you do it?
Simple. Follow your heart, chase your career goals, and choose the bank that supports your journey.
Follow your heart to mentor, mother, or nurture. CIBC Caribbean is proud to empower women entrepreneurs and professionals like you. We provide women's empowerment benefits, including reduced fees, cashback, and more. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com/women in business for more information.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Have you already tried our President Butter? Ooh la la. Indulge a little with President, because now more than ever, we need to savor the taste, textures, and feelings to truly enjoy the little things that mean the most. President Butter, something to savor.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with DeQuesta Dean, and it is time for a monthly series with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation Chamber Hour. We are very pleased to have with us, as always, CEO Dr. Leo Roll, and also joining us, the CEO of Plato Alpha Design, but here as the chair of the Young Professional Society, Duran Humes. Great to have you both back with us. You've been here before. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning, Dwight.
Good to see you all. All right, so we'll get to Duran Humes in just a bit, but Dr.
Sure.
Leo Roll, you've got always a lot of exciting things happening in the Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Dwight. Thank you for the opportunity. So I just wanted to briefly talk about two events that we have that are coming up. The Chamber of Commerce obviously has, last year and the year before, Royal Caribbean has been a great partner of ours, and so they have graciously agreed to give us what we consider a power brunch. And it's an opportunity to hear from Royal Caribbean executives, to hear from tourism, to hear from the chamber, to fellowship, to eat, drink, and of course, a 3-course meal. You also have the opportunity, if time permits, for a vessel tour.
Wow.
And so that's great, because what that does is it shows, one, that they're great corporate citizens, but it also shows that they want to continue the engagement between the public and, of course, themselves. And so this year they've agreed to give us 2 power brunches.
Okay.
The first is next week, Tuesday, on the 27th. And as I was just telling Kessa, we are actually completely sold out from last week. And so we, for the first time ever, actually have a waiting list.
Oh,
and so the team will be calling persons who've signed up just to confirm. And if they are not coming, then we will pass the space on to someone from the waiting list. But we have an exciting lineup. So Phil Simon, who is the general manager of Royal Caribbean, will be giving an update on the Beach Club and also how Bahamians can access the opportunities. We have Latia Duncombe, the Director General, who will be speaking about tourism, the expectations for the cruise sector, etc. And then our very own chairman, Tim Ingram, will give an update on BCCC events and where we're going and what the trajectory looks like for the remainder of the year.
That sounds good.
We have a number of notable people that will be there. I saw some of the responses come in even up as late as 11:30 last night.
Wow.
So we have the Chargé that will be there, the Chinese ambassador, the UK ambassador, the Haitian ambassador, the DG, of course, and then some of our corporate partners like the SPDC, Cable Bahamas, TDC, etc.
Wow. All right, so how many can you accommodate for that? Or?
So usually it's 250 because it's on board Utopia, but this first one is on board. Symphony of the Seas capacity is 180.
Okay.
And we've actually allowed to go a little over that because we know some people don't show up. So I think we blocked the registration at about 190.
Okay. Wow.
And now we're going through to see who we can pull from the waiting list.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you said 2, is it, there's a different one or is that?
Yes, the other one is in September. And we're hoping that one is on Utopia as it normally is.
So you need to sign up for that now? Or
obviously, you can't wait.
We haven't ironed out the logistics in terms of date with Royal Caribbean.
But the minute it comes out,
listen, I think this one was maybe only out for less than a week.
Yeah, that's what I
Less than a week it was open. We had given persons until May 21st, and we couldn't go any further because we had reached capacity.
So are the people who make it to this one not allowed to go?
No.
It doesn't work like that.
They
can still come back.
Absolutely. They can come.
Money talks.
Really and truly.
Pay, hold your spot, and you could go to all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so people can park at the point.
Okay.
And we've hired Cheryl's Bus Service, and they will actually provide a free shuttle to the actual terminal or the gangway, and you'll be able to get on board. And as you get on board at 10 o'clock, you'll go to a breakfast. You can have breakfast, which is tea, danishes, and fruits. And then we have a show. Usually it's in the theater, but this year it's actually on the ice, in the ice theater, I would call it.
Okay.
But they're going to cover the ice, of course. But still, it's such a great feel to actually be in there, right?
Oh, my gosh. They have an ice rink in
we
there?
should do
Absolutely. And so they're going to
Wow.
have it in there. And then we have a full meal, as I said. And if time permits, there'll be a vessel tour.
Okay.
So 2 meals.
Yes.
Wow.
Breakfast.
Very
And
exciting.
actually, they have drinks as they are watching the show and listening. Usually,
Sounds
it's
like a
usually
great time.
mimosas
That's
or
a
a glass of
bargain.
wine or something. Yeah, absolutely.
bargain.
Mimosas. Wow. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
really good. And then the second is, of course, our golf tournament. It's an annual event. And while it is a fundraiser for the chamber, more importantly to us is our mandate to give back. And so we always choose a worthy charity. Last year it was the Crisis Center. This year it's FOAM, Family of All Murdered Victims. And so it's on the 8th of June. It's a 2-man scramble. Last year we had 22 teams. We've opened it to about 30 this year. And we're almost at max for that.
That's amazing.
So we have about 4 more spaces left. Grand prize, again, Royal Caribbean, one of our greatest corporate partners, is a 6 to 8 night cruise for 2.
That's amazing.
Now, because it's a 2-man scramble, that means it's 4. So
Okay.
each person gets a cruise for 2.
Nice. Okay.
Very nice.
The second place is 2 weekend passes, including dinner and aquaventure experience with comfort suites. Again, for 2 people. So each person gets their own for 2 persons.
Oh, nice.
And then the third place prize is 2 $500 gift vouchers, one from Bahamas Air, one from Going Places.
Nice.
Of course, the winner of the hole-in-one will get a 2025 BYD song and that's a vehicle.
That's
an
pretty
electric vehicle. Summit Insurance is our hole-in-one sponsor for that. And so we have quite a number of corporate sponsors that will come on board to assist us and to make sure that at the end of the day, a part of these proceeds can go to FOAM to continue the work that Candy Gibson is doing.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
stuff.
Again, remind us of the date and how people can sign up for that.
Sure. So they can go to our website to sign up for the golf tournament. There is no online link for the waiting list for the brunch. So what they can do is call the office or reach out. The person 2 of them that went on it last night actually messaged through our Facebook profile, and I just pulled them from there and sent them to the list. So they can reach out to us from Facebook or any of our social media handles. They can call the office and simply note that they want to go on the waiting list for the Royal Caribbean event, which is next week Tuesday, and then they can go on our website to sign up for the golf tournament.
Can go
Yeah.
anyway.
Ex-
Have to be right here, crease up with Dwight.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Are
man.
you going to change the dates next time? Don't do it on a Tuesday. I have to be here with Dwight.
Or maybe we can do the show out
From
there.
Yeah,
How
that'd
about
be
that?
so
We'll talk to
amazing.
Phil Simon about
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, that'd be
we can do
amazing.
that.
Yeah. We'll see.
Do
We'll
that
see.
one on a Tuesday.
Right, yeah.
And then, of course, we have a mixer at the end of the month, but that's in connection with YPS, so I'll allow Duran.
Awesome.
I guess when we get to that
Yeah.
segment, one of the things that was important to us was, as I mentioned over repeatedly, when I look at some of the comments and hear some of the things that the general populace is saying, it's clear that they don't quite understand the Chamber of Commerce in terms of who we advocate for, who our members are, what we do, and so we thought it fitting to find a way to get the average Bahamian who doesn't have a business and maybe a young professional or anyone aspiring to that to get into the chamber. And what better way to do it than to rehash We had the Organization of Young Professionals way back when. And so we thought to bring that back in a different light. Some of the same dynamics, some of the same ideals, but a new name, Young Professional Society. And we had a very ambitious young man who has been a chamber member for a long time. And we thought it important to have someone at the helm who's young, who's progressive, who's doing things, and who has a very, very strong following. And so I've reached out to Duran Humes to head the Young Professional Society.
Nice. All right, so we're going to get started with that in just a bit. Dr. Leroy, got to ask you about this, though. We know the government's been engaged in the stakeholder talks about labor reforms, all manner of things, maternity leave, paternity leave being discussed. The big headline in the paper today about mental health days. Who will pay for mental health days? As employers,
interesting question.
Apparently, employers are pushing back on this. Should that be a part of sick days, or should that be something else? What's the chamber's position on this?
That's an interesting question. Interestingly enough, though, we had a meeting with the Director of Labor maybe about 2 weeks ago. And while the reforms were being mentioned, and obviously it's public news now, that was one of the considerations, and that was our general consensus. I mean, there are a number of ancillary costs that are being added to the business community that is operating on the same dollar. And so the consideration has to be given, how do we pay for these other things? You have an NIB fund that is actually challenged. And so what type of studies, what type of feasibility studies have been done to determine that if I now add an extra 4, 6, however many ever weeks you want to add to maternity leave, and now mental leave, and leave for adoption, and paternity leave. All of these things are coming from the same business. And so obviously the Ministry of Labor, as well as the director and the minister herself, want to hear from the business community because they've been very intentional about engaging us. And so it's just now an opportunity. So we have committed to them to put together a list of our concerns from the business community so that they can be either addressed or perhaps considered while these reforms are being tabled.
Are you finding that businesses are moving more toward contractual employment to avoid some of these benefits?
Well, they're moving towards a number of things. One is it possibly can lead to downsizing, right? Because if you have to offset your cost, you have to offset it somehow. Contractual employment, where you don't have the impetus to pay so many benefits, but also, which we hope it doesn't go that route, but employing persons based on gender, simply because of the nature of what happens in terms of the cost. See, when a business's back is against the wall, they have to be creative with how they ensure that the bottom line is not challenged. Otherwise, you force them into the informal economy or out of business completely.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. All right, so we're going to be hearing a lot more about this, I'm sure, over the next few weeks. Interesting stuff. All right, so Young Professional Society. Duran Humes is the chair. Tell us about this. Leo said a little bit about it, but tell us about the organization and give us some background on it.
Yeah, so the Young Professional Society is essentially a group of young professionals between the ages of 22 and 40 that will come together to network and also to gain knowledge in different areas through the backing of the Chamber of Commerce, right? That is what we decided to do to revive the program, as Leo said, because it was a very useful program for a lot of young professionals coming up in their careers and to actually help them out with different resources, access to different people, such and so forth.
Yeah. So why is that important? Why do you have a separate division basically for this as opposed to just normal being a normal member of the chamber or something like that?
Yeah, because the members of the chambers are not necessarily individuals. They are companies.
Absolutely.
Right?
Okay.
So you don't necessarily have to have a company to be at least adjacent to the chamber, but you can be an individual through the YPS program.
Yeah.
So the YPS program is for budding entrepreneurs, or can it just be for professionals in general who want to upgrade their skills, or what do you offer? And that's two questions, I guess.
Yes. So YPS is for budding entrepreneurs as well as professionals that are in their career, right? Persons that are trying to figure out, how can I move faster? How can I get in contact with certain people, right? To get the knowledge, get the information, get the leg up, right? Because that is something that I feel is important, primarily for young Bahamians, because we have to figure out how do we now expose persons to what is actually possible, right? You could be starting out in the career of finance as a bank teller, but how do you now figure out how do you get all the way up to managing director if that's something that you want to do?
Right.
Or how do you now start your own financial services company, right? All of these different things, persons usually have to figure out on their own, but we're trying to bring together a group of people that can help them to move forward faster.
Tell us more about that, how this works and what format this takes.
So essentially, you would sign up to be a YPS member, and we'd vet the application, and you'd start to receive information from us on different things, right? We have things like monthly webinars where we bring in different experts from different fields to now teach you on certain things, like let's say home ownership expos or financial literacy expos and things like that, just to make sure that you, again, have the leg up and that you're exposed to the knowledge, right? On top of that, we have our quarterly mixers, one of which is coming up on the 31st of this month. That's going to be at the Access Co-working Center. We've already sold out.
Absolutely.
That is a common pattern and theme.
Y'all have
Leo, you only come here when the things are sold out. What's going on here?
I'm so sorry. We started at 60. We can increase to 75.
Wow.
The next capacity increase is 100, which I don't think they can accommodate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or change
So-
locations.
Probably next time.
To accommodate, right?
But definitely beyond that is as well are resources that persons will get access to. So for those budding stars, we have different programs like work exchange programs through the different embassies around the world, especially through the work that Leo and the Chamber is doing, creating those relationships with the different embassies, the UK embassy, Canada, US, Europe, and having those work exchange programs as well as professional exchange programs. So whereas you could possibly go to one of these places to learn more about, let's say, financial services, right? Or any field that you're in particular. Yeah.
So is this something that people who are either in technical or trades should participate in? Are there programs geared to the development of their businesses? If say like you're a plumber or you're an electrician?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, even outside of, let's say, the specifics, there's also general knowledge that will help you no matter what, like how to speak to people, how to have a conversation, right? Those are different things that can help you in any situation, no matter what it is that you're doing. Yeah.
So tell us a little more about the work
mixer.
exchange. We'll get to the mixer in a bit. So how does that work exactly?
So that is something that is in the works in terms of working out the kinks, working out the details, but that's something that is a specially reserved program, especially because that's a good amount of effort that goes behind something like that, and a good amount of resources. So that's for those persons that really show like, hey, you are a budding star, so we're going to help you out by pushing you forward. Right?
Yeah. And I'm sure it's going to take some measure of probably a vacation week that you have to take.
You have to take some investment.
Yeah, you have to take some time to be able to go. But we've spoken with, as Duran said, all of the embassies that we have a relationship with, and they all have gung-ho behind it. And one of the biggest things for us is IOE. We have International Organization of Employers.
Yes.
We have an annual, and it's so interesting because I didn't even remember this when I started thinking about, asking Duran to head the YPS, but they have an annual conference in Istanbul, Turkey, that is for young professionals. Last year we sent a board member. This year we're going to send Duran, but it's all expenses paid. And it's just an opportunity for young professionals to come together with international young professionals to create those linkages. And so that's going to be reserved for a YPS member every single year.
Wow.
My goodness.
So I heard you say that, people will make application and those applications will be vetted. What is the criteria? What do they need to come prepared with for the application? Is there an interview process? Tell us more about the onboarding.
So the primary eligibility criteria is that you're between the ages of 22 and 40. That's first.
Any chance that could be expanded a little tiny bit?
Dwight, you in the mature category, okay? Accept it.
We'll do a silver economy for Dwight.
Oh, my goodness.
Silver. Wow.
Don't worry, I'm in the silver. I have to dig with that. I can actually still qualify for YPS. Interesting.
Sorry to interrupt.
But beyond that is that you are a Bahamian citizen or a Bahamian national. It doesn't matter if you are based in the Bahamas currently, you can be based anywhere in the world.
Really?
Once you are a Bahamian, yes. This is a program for Bahamians.
So if somebody wants to participate in sessions that you're having and say they live in a different country, are you having virtual sessions for them as well?
Absolutely. So that's those monthly webinars.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing that would be in person primarily would be the quarterly mixers.
The mixers, okay.
So that's something that won't be virtual.
Okay. Yeah. Now, is there a cost for this?
Yes.
Okay.
So the membership cost is $150 per year, $150 per year.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. And that covers access to everything YPS.
Okay.
Right?
And do you have to be a member of the chamber?
No,
or
you
no, you
don't.
don't. Okay.
No.
So the $150, that's just the annual fee, but for the mixer you would pay.
No.
Or that covers
No,
everything. Because I want to make sure people understand.
Yep.
You know,
that covers
this
everything.
$150 or a couple dollars a month, $10 or whatever.
Pretty much.
Will give you access to this growth material and then the
Yes.
webinars and also the in-person experiences.
And the
Y'all
benefits
sure
that
y'all
come
cost
with
that
it.
out, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Want to remain accessible.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
We also have, because two of the largest opportunities or, I guess, things to get over for any young professional, I think, are education and homeownership. So Duran spoke about the first-time homeowners, a symposium that we'll be doing for them. But we also have an opportunity, we aim to deal with Walden University to get those young professionals up to 60% off of their tuition.
Oh, wow.
Just by virtue of being in the YPS program.
amazing. Wow.
And to be in those symposiums, any additional cost for
Not
those?
at all.
Everything
It's
is-
all covered.
Everything
okay.
is free.
It's wonderful. So even though it's all booked up and sold out, the the mixer, what can people expect?
Well, for the mixer, persons can expect the ones that are scheduled to be there. They can expect to learn more about the program and to really get an idea of how the vibe is for the actual program itself. Right.
But those networking opportunities are also invaluable because
Yes.
you get to meet other young professionals and you can create allegiances and bonds.
Those
and-
long-term
right,
relationships.
Right. Sounds great.
Great
Wow.
stuff. All right, if you have any questions for our guest, Dr. Leo Rowland, Duran Humes, give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. All right, so what else is next that people can think about now and sign up before it gets to be oversubscribed?
I love that.
Oh my goodness.
For both of you, I guess.
Yes.
So next for YPS would essentially be us forging partnerships with different professional communities that are already out there, like the HR Society, like the Accounting Society, compliance officers, etc. All of those different communities that are already out there, forming those associations with them, right?
Okay.
Having their members come over to YPS and vice versa, right? Because essentially, the whole purpose of this, again, is to give Bahamian young professionals a leg up and point them in the right direction. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess for us, the next event isn't until, as I said, September, which is going to be the second Power Brunch. But as you've seen, Dwight, we have a number of trade missions. Those two have been quite oversubscribed. We had a team of 60 businesses that we took to India in April. We had some persons that went to Brazil last week. I think it was about 5 or 7 of them. We are now closing the door to our mission to Istanbul, Turkey. And that's for businesses in the beauty industry. So what I like about Charo Morley, who is our trade manager, she looks for these opportunities that are industry specific so that we can touch each segment of the chamber. So construction, then we had food and beverage with Brazil. Now we have the beauty, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals for Istanbul. We already have about 30 persons that have signed up. We only had limit for 25 or so. And so we still sent in all the names because we're looking to get consideration for travel and accommodations for them. In July, there's also another opportunity in Istanbul, Turkey, which is for food and beverage industry. We're working with AfriXM and the Caribbean Export Development Agency for our mission to Africa in September for the Africa to Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum, which is the 4th to the 10th in Algeria. And then in October, we're working with the Chinese Embassy for a mission to the Canton Fair in China. And of course, we're going to continue the work through the chamber and our partners.
So, Dr. Leo, can you tell us about we hear about the missions and all of the events. Can you, to the business public listening, what are the benefits of becoming a member of the chamber, and also how do you do that? How do you register with the chamber?
So becoming a member is simple. You go to our website, www.bahamaschamber.com, and you go to become a member, and it actually shows you the application. You get to fill out the application. It's a membership fee that's tiered to the amount of employees you have, as small as $275 a year if it's just you, and it goes all the way up to about $4,900 if you have about 200 or 300 employees or more. And the benefits are so wide. You have access, advice, and advocacy, which is our hallmark, access to capital opportunities, access to government agencies, to government policies. You have an advocate in the chamber to help, as Dwight just mentioned, with the implementation of the mental health leave. Obviously, the businesses can't all go to the ministry at once, and so they go through the chamber, and we provide the advocacy that they need. You get access to a preferred vendors listing, and so when persons call in looking for, we had a hotel member call the other day looking for businesses in the construction field, and we were able to send them that list. You have an access opportunity for trade missions. Usually, we negotiate with the host country or the organizers to try to get travel and accommodations covered for the persons that are going, so that isn't a burden on the businesses.
Nice.
Access to member benefits in terms of the amount for any events that we have. So you'll notice with the brunch, there was a 110, which was for non-members, 82.50, which was for members. You have access to marketing and advertising. Even on this show, you've seen that we've brought members with us to give them an opportunity to actually have that advertisement free of charge. Though we pay, wink, we ensure that the members get that opportunity as a benefit. They also have the benefit to advertise on our monthly newsletter free of charge, the benefit to advertise all over our social media pages or on our website free of charge. They also have the opportunity to, as Duran said, get these linkages. So, for instance, one of our members, ShipX, has agreed to give a 10% discount for chamber members. And we have a number of members that come on board and do the very same. And then the networking opportunities are boundless, because now you have access to 1,000+ database of businesses that need so many different things. And you can access that database just by virtue of being a chamber member.
Interesting text here. This person says, I was a chamber member. I did not renew for about 2 years, but now that Dr. Leo is making things happen, I think I will come home.
Oh, wow. There's a new member.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
Returning member,
back.
Yeah. But we still have to vote on the voting rights for companies. I don't know.
I think that's tied to the amount of employees you have each, and that's for the end of the year in terms of our voting. So this year is a voting year for us. Every 2 years is for the chamber.
Okay.
And so we'll have a new board. I am not a tiered or board type of person where I have a term limit. I'm a full-time employee. And so our board will change in November of this year.
Okay. Interesting. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
Right.
All right. So go on.
So I wanted to ask Duran a question about the young
Professional
society.
Yes.
There's a lot of conversation about young people kind of being lost or lacking maybe ambition or whatever. Are there any initiatives? And let's just be real. Some people have lost hope because they can't get through red tape or, it's so difficult doing business.
Right.
When you think about those people, how can you support or help or motivate them to even join? Because there are so many wonderful programs, right? And you have access, but do you participate? Right. So what would you say to someone who has been trying, who is disillusioned and disappointed about the difference your organization can make?
Well, the first thing I would say is don't give up hope, right? We are in 2025. Information is accessible everywhere, and persons are a whole lot more accessible than they used to be, right? So with the YPS program, this essentially gives you an opportunity to be exposed to different things, which is the primary purpose of it, right? And with that exposure, you can now start to leverage that new knowledge and that new kind of connections that you have to now get past a lot of that red tape, right? And to get past a lot of the, I guess you could say, the mental angst that some persons may have with dealing with doing business in the Bahamas. Because if you could do business here, you could do it anywhere.
Right.
I used to say that about New York, but the Bahamas is a whole lot more tougher.
Right.
Yeah.
My goodness.
So going through all of that, that person may be a bit jaded, but I'd say just come out to one of our events, hear more about what we're doing, sign up for the YPS program, just try it out.
So do you think you'll get to the place where you offer more personalized mentorship? Like, we need more mentors, people that can have one or two people that can access them, get information. So do you think you will have a program that offers mentorship even if it's paid? Because let's just be real, when we learn from the experience of other people, we can advance faster and we make less mistakes and all that sort of stuff. So what do you think about mentorship, and will it be incorporated?
It's actually already incorporated in our overall plan, right? This is the plan that I would have presented to Leo and Tim, just to make sure that everything was lining up. And that's why I wanted to comment on your comment, Dwight, in terms of you being above the threshold. Like there's still usefulness from that knowledge and that experience and the wisdom that you have over the past 20, 30 years.
50.
Tread carefully.
What are you playing with him?
But definitely that's something that's a part of our program, right? That's not something that we're going to start out with, because we need to see exactly what we're working with and figure out what is the best path forward for a lot of the members in terms of mentorship. Then we figure out who we need to reach out to, who we need to pull in to say, hey, here are these 5 persons that I think would be perfect for you to at least have maybe a session every 2 weeks with, an hour with, just to have them have a sounding board, someone that has done it already.
Right.
One more time, that people know how to join YPS, what they need to do.
You can go to the Chamber website. There is a tab on the Chamber website that has the YPS, and you'll be able to see the sign-up form on there.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
I have one more question.
Sure.
So there are a lot of, and I have to agree with that texter, that there are a lot of programs designed to help women. I know that your program is both sexes, male and females, right? But you find that there are a lot of women's events to help with women empowerment or women in business and this sort of stuff. Are you able to talk about whether you can morph into something that offers a program for male, specifically for the development of the man, like male empowerment, or different male mental health, or some things that are just designed for men, right? Because there's so much happening for women. So do you think that you will morph into something like that for young upcoming men?
And do you feel that that is needed? Is that
it is absolutely needed?
Yep. Okay.
It's absolutely needed. There's a lot of different programs outside of the Chamber that I'm involved with, maybe through Toastmasters, Club 1600, and through the International Black Men's Empowerment Summit. There's a lot of different things that I'm involved with that are specific for men, right? But at least in terms of the YPS, that is something that we could possibly look at a whole lot later. But definitely, as of now, it is gender neutral. Okay. Everyone is welcomed, and you can figure out where you fit in with this particular program.
Okay. All right. One more time, Leo, how people can find out more about the Chamber and join and everything
They
that you
can
do.
call us at 322-2145, or they can email us at info@bahamaschamber.com, no S on the end of chamber. Or they can go to our website, www.bahamaschamber.com, bahamaschamberofcommerce.com. Or they can find us on all social media, unfortunately, even TikTok.
Fortunately or
my
unfortunately.
team knows how I feel about it, but nonetheless.
That's how you get the young professionals on. Right?
How do you reach out to you? Young professional information.
Okay. Leo Roll, thank you so much for being here. Always bring us great information.
Yeah, and congratulations on all the great work that you're doing.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that.
And around Humes, thank you so much. Young Professionals Society and Plato Alpha Design, thank you for being here again. Appreciate it. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break to wrap things up right after this here. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
At
CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
The 2025 Samuel P. Haven High School Soccer Nationals are here. May 15th through 16th in Grand Bahama. May 21st through 30th in Nassau at the Roscoe A.L. Davies Field. Top teams from Nassau, Freeport, Eleuthera, and Abaco battle for the crown in the Duncan Girls and J.S. Johnson Boys Division. Calling all junior Junction groups. Come out, bring the vibes, and rep your school. Inclusive matches, music, food, and family fun daily. Gates open at 3 p.m. Visit bahamasfa.net. Be there.
Only one item?
Are you tired of limited choices?
I'll have the one item on the menu, thank you. Wow! So many choices.
Why settle for less when you deserve more? When it comes to the ways you pay, the more, the better. With a variety of payment options available, you can enjoy the freedom to choose what works best for you. Choose freedom. Choose flexibility. Choose from the full menu of payment options. The future of pay is digital.
Pinda has a new line, the Sky series of porcelain. It comes in 4 colors, Sky Noir, Sky Gris, Sky Glance, and this one, Sky Azure. As the name suggests, you would think it has a strong blue component, but the blue is kind of like just a hint in the overall coloring of the porcelain. The blue feature runs more or less the center of the tile, and that's surrounded by light shades of gray. The Sky Azure, like the others in the series, needs to be seen to be appreciated. Stop by Pinda Tile and have a look at Sky Azure, one of the 4 in the Sky series.
You work hard for your money, so let your money work hard for you. With as little as $1,000 to start, you can watch your money grow by investing in CFAL's Bahamian dollar and US dollar mutual funds, each tailored to match your unique investment profile. Our expert advisors are dedicated to crafting personalized investment strategies to help you achieve your financial goals. Don't miss out on the chance to earn higher returns on your hard-earned money. Join the thousands of investors who trust CFAL and start your journey toward financial freedom today. Visit us at cfal.com to learn more about our saving and investment options. And let us help you build wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The Water and Sewage Corporation has installed about 15,000 smart meters across the country and will ramp up installation in the coming months. That's according to General Manager Robert Deal. He explained that the installation of these meters will pave the way for the corporation to introduce monthly billing. Deal says WSC's goal is to have almost all of its old mechanical meters replaced by smart meters by late 2026. He says he expects customers' billing cycle to change from quarterly to monthly close to that time. Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accountants President Bertino Albury warning about the rising cost of living in the country ahead of the budget communication scheduled for the end of the month. Albury, in an email statement to Guardian Business, about BICA's views on the upcoming budget, saying that as the government prepares for its fiscal plan for the 25-26 fiscal year, they acknowledge the complex economic environment in which the administration must operate. It said the Consumer Price Index and core inflation indicators suggest that the cost of food, energy, rent, and transportation continue to weigh heavily on household budgets, and that the rising costs of consumer goods and services, coupled with exorbitant real estate prices, driven largely by luxury developments, appear to be making everyday life increasingly unaffordable for the average Bahamian. You can read more on Albury's comments in today's Guardian Business section. And the Water and Sewage Corporation signing a $1.04 million contract with Apex Pavers Company Limited for the construction of a new transmission water main that will link the corporation's reverse osmosis plant in Kemps Bay, Andros, to a well field in the Bluff in South Andros. That's expected to improve water for more than 1,500 Androsians. Minister of State with responsibility for Water and Sewage Corporation and Disaster Risk Management, Leon Lundy, speaking during the signing at the headquarters, said that when completed, the water main will immediately be impactful for the residents and businesses in the area. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday, your market movers, APD Limited moving 75 shares, closing at 44.64, unchanged. Commonwealth Bank moving 5,000, down 2 cents to 4.93. Consolidated Water up 8 cents to 5.39, and Emir Incorporated up 7 cents, closing at 10.56. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,967.33, up 0.1413. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Duke Quesadine, that is it for us today. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
It's a wonderful show. Thanks for having me.
I'll see you next week. Yeah. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan. Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned.